And we are coming down in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to Getting Sports with Drunk. I'm your hostess, Cupcake the Riddler, and I'm joined by...
The Red Baron. Light crowd here.
Rita's here.
Hello.
Pardon my chewing into the microphone. It's just us.
Yeah.
Both sporting football jerseys today?
Yes.
Who you got?
I have Brian Dawkins on the Broncos, which I think, did you get this from me? I got a couple of jerseys randomly from people. I got like 3 jerseys that these are like secondhand.
I don't think it was me.
No?
I have gotten you a couple weird ones. I don't think it was that one, though.
I can't remember where I got
Is that the Pro Bowl jersey?
No, this is the AFL 50th anniversary.
Nice. It was his birthday the other day.
Yeah. I actually almost wore I have an LT Pro Bowl jersey from his MVP year. But I was like, nah, let's save it till we get Pro Bowl time, and I could be really lame about it.
No, you should have wore the LT Jets jersey.
That will come, maybe later in the season.
Did you own that?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah. I was looking through I have a lot of jerseys.
Yeah.
Like, I'm hoping that every show moving forward, I'm going to have a jersey to wear. With the exception of 07 Reed. I don't think that one is going to make it out of the house.
Classic Reed parents.
Yeah, they went, I don't know if it was for Christmas or my birthday or something, like, hey, we got your custom Steelers jersey. We got your last name on it. And look at the number. Like, something's funny about this. The number 0 is ahead of 7.
Yeah.
It's like, well, they don't, where single-digit players don't have the 0 in front of it.
They also pick somebody that has that number.
Right, yeah. But it was a nice gesture, you know.
Should have got you 21.
Yeah. But they didn't know.
What are you going to do?
Right. It's the thought that counts.
So I'm eating one of these ham and cheese roll-ups. The cheese solidified because it's cold in the bottom. So all the grease got chapped. So I just took a big bite of ham, grease, and cheese.
That's what Dunkin's all about.
That's what America's all about.
We've been eating wrong. I've seen those videos.
Starting lineup. I dropped the ball this morning.
No, I dropped the ball.
We dropped the ball this morning. So I got Miller 64.
Peter, they'll be replaced.
They won't. You're going to be replaced with Miller Lite. Actually, MGD.
Extra calories.
Mm-hmm.
And from the Riddler collection, Saint Klippenstein. Made an extra R in there that wasn't there from Allagash.
Bomber. It's going to pop.
Yeah. The cork is going to explode everywhere.
You have a toast excellence? Rita, do you have one? Nope.
Come back to me.
You're just going to be to the 1-5 Giants.
Yeah.
No.
So we beat this to death. Sports has beat this to death. But I just wanted to, and since Jeff isn't here, I wanted to give Drew Brees his props for becoming the all-time passing leader for the NFL.
He's going to not break another record, but eclipse another mark today.
Yeah.
He's got 499 touchdown passes.
Could you imagine he doesn't throw a touchdown for like 3 weeks?
Oh, man. But he still throws for like 900 yards.
That happened to Trevor Hoffman. He was going for like 600 saves, and he kept blowing the save. It took him like 9 tries to do it. I felt bad. But
that just goes to show you, it's in players' heads.
Yeah.
I feel like baseball more so. You have a lot of downtime.
Yeah.
Like football is more, like when you're on the bench, you could be thinking about it, but...
Yeah, because you might not get a save opportunity.
Right.
I mean, you could go 14 games and get blown out or blow out.
Or if it's the top of the 9th, and your team just explodes for 6 runs, well...
That's it, bring the...
Just ask any relief pitcher that's ever been on a team of Kyles in the show.
Right.
Kyle and I one time played a whole season where there was not one save opportunity for our closer.
Really?
Not one.
Either win big or lose close.
Mm-hmm. He did get a loss, though.
You bring him in,
We put him in because he hadn't pitched in forever. Loaded the bases, gave up a walk-off grand slam.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Well, actually, no, he didn't get the loss. He did not get the loss.
No?
He was we were up 3. So that was his one save opportunity. Blew it. Yeah. Blew it.
Your toast?
I don't know. I hadn't really thought about it. Oh, my toast is to Duncan Keith of the Chicago Blackhawks, who played his 1,000th career game last night for the Blackhawks. They did a little ceremony for him beforehand. He had an assist in the game. They won.
Did he get a laminated piece of paper? Did they start the game and bring out a laminated piece of paper?
No. Before the game, they gave him a silver hockey stick that's got his name and stuff engraved into it.
That's cool.
And then a photo, like a collage photo of him with all his accomplishments on it.
Is he the most tenured Blackhawk now of all time?
Not all time. Like,
well, I guess maybe not all time.
Like
but
on the roster?
Yeah, like of recent history.
Like on the roster?
Yeah.
He came out in 2002. He came out in 2002 because Hossa wouldn't have the most tenured anyway because he didn't. He's the was the longest active player. He came out in 2002, and I want to say 2005. I think was when he started, when he came up from the farm team. I think he came up in October of 2005. I mean, he's been there ever since.
Wow.
So, I mean, he's been a Blackhawk. He's been like in the organization since 2002, but he played for like Rockford and all that crap. Yeah. But
I'd
2005, so 13, 14 years.
Wow. I'd be curious to know where he stands of Blackhawk, greats, playing where he stands in that.
Well, it's tough because it's an original 6-team storied franchise. It's like talking, it's like where does, you just look at some of the greats, like Charles Tillman was a great Chicago Bear, but where does he rank all time for Chicago Bears?
Yeah.
Probably not top 5.
Team has
right.
57 Hall of Famers.
Exactly. So it's tough. But I mean, I definitely would say top 10 all time. Yeah, I mean, he hasn't, I haven't had a chance. I've only watched one game this season. I've followed them, the games like stat.
Right. It's impossible.
Well, it's hard. Yeah, I took the edge off this year. I didn't subscribe to the hockey thing to watch every game. I didn't have the money. It's like $100. It's a lot of money.
Those are for people you really gotta love hockey.
It's just like I just don't always have the time. I got a lot of nighttime commitments, and it's like I know if you're a fan, you'll make the time. Yeah, that's easy to say when you're a fan of a football team.
Yeah.
But it's not easy when there's 82 games in a season. But yeah. I would say probably top 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's always been a very good defenseman. Not offensive minded, but he can, he scores goals. He's very good addition.
You anticipate his name up in the rafters? Or number up in the rafters, rather?
That is a good question. I'm not sure. Because I'm not sure how many retired numbers there are for the Blackhawks. I mean, I can think of quite a few not quite a few, but like I can think of a handful off the top of my head. But I'm not sure how many there are.
He was present for all the cups, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. He won the Stanley Cup. Yeah, he was there for 2010, 2012, and then he was the MVP when they beat the Lightning in 2015.
Pretty good hardware there,
Yeah, he's got 1 Finals MVP, 3 Stanley Cups, and 2 Conn Smythe trophies, which is like best defenseman, and then All-Star appearances and yada yada.
Yada yada yada.
Yeah. Yeah.
Rita, anything?
I was distracted. Sorry. I'm looking at books.
All right, hers is to Saquon Barkley for getting her 50 points in fantasy this week.
This is true. I'm down a quarterback.
Yeah, we're gonna fix it today.
Okay, good.
But I need your laptop at one of the breaks to do that.
Okay.
And you can go ahead and do research because I discussed it with the other people in the league. Because we did 5 weeks of everybody getting our little football inept, but you chose to pick Ryan Fitzpatrick. No,
I didn't know.
You should know Ryan Fitzpatrick doesn't
play a full season.
So what you get to do is we will give you a quarterback. However,
can I drop someone?
You have to drop somebody on your team, but it has to be an active player. It has to be a player that's playing. You cannot drop Garoppolo.
No, that's fine. Because I've already been trying to drop other players, so it's fine.
You can't drop anybody.
I know, but I tried.
The point of this league is as such.
Yeah.
I tried.
Why?
Because I was trying to fix the problem.
You can't add or drop people.
That's fine.
Only I can do that.
All right.
So do your research on what quarterback you want.
Okay.
Unless you would like to trade. I'm open to a trade.
And he'll trade you for Garoppolo.
A call from Kyle Souls.
Because he just loves him.
Hey, you're on the mic.
Oh, shit. Forgot. It was 10 o'clock. Oh, boy. Man of many names.
Hey, Souls. A cameo. I don't know if you can hear me.
Doing today. Calling in. This is from the woodwork. My father, Bob Souls, invited Paul to my brother's house to watch the games over there.
This is a very interesting conversation.
Shut up, Rebecca.
It's like he's here.
Yeah.
So I'm calling in to talk about,
All right, so no more. So we will pull that. Well, it was hilarious,
That was very
but
painful.
no, he's fine. It's just he forgot it was Ted. So, but got a good weekend, or Sunday anyway, of football ahead. Unfortunately for you, Rita, the Giants played on Thursday and
I don't want to talk
didn't
about it.
give a masterful performance. But it's there's a lot of problems. We're gonna delve into that probably later. I figure we're gonna talk catch up on some baseball playoffs in this first hour. Touch on some basketball and hockey. But we'll save all the turmoil in New York for later in the show, because there's a lot to talk about.
Oh, New York is a dumpster fire right
and,
now.
And the other outlets have analyzed it to death, but it's almost comedic at this point. But let's
I
toast
don't
them.
think it's funny.
Yes, toast. Oh God, didn't even make a.
Oh God!
sound. Ooh.
Ooh, champagne.
In spirits of keeping up with tradition, even though it's just me and Rita can chime in, do you have an NFL question?
I sure do.
I figured you would.
Ooh, this will be fun.
You better believe it.
All right, go ahead.
So, in honor of Drew Brees, what would you rather do? Career high passing yards against each team, or total passing yards against each team?
So either career high in a game, or like for a career.
Yeah.
I want to do for the career against the Rams.
Okay. All right. So, what do you think that number is against the Rams all time?
Okay. This is interesting because it's like you think he plays the Rams at least every 3 years, and then really I don't think there was a lot of times that they probably linked up in terms of placement in the division. Rams were pretty bad for a while.
Rams were bad. Well, the Saints were good.
And the Saints were, but the Saints have never been a last place team.
Yeah, really ever.
So I don't know. I'm gonna say, God, in his career, because it's tough too, because it's Chargers.
Right.
Chargers.
And to help read out,
What?
this is going to be a 4-digit number, with the exception of one team, which is when he played against the Saints.
Is there any decimal points?
what?
Why would there be?
Well, technically speaking,
No. Technically speaking, anything.
There's no technically speaking. There's no NFL like stat sheet that says he threw for 371.8 yards today.
It's not a measurable or documented stat. It's just flat numbers.
Okay, so against the Rams, I'm gonna say he has thrown for 1,874.
1,874. 2,546.
So we're gonna have to do some math here. Who's closer? I'm pretty sure Paul is closer, but 2,073 versus the Rams.
Yeah, I'm way closer.
Yeah.
Pooh.
Interestingly enough, versus the Saints, 257.
In one game.
And I think that's cumulative. All like
They probably only played him once though.
Yeah, I mean,
wasn't he only a Charger for 4 years, 3 years?
Yeah.
No. I mean, he was drafted and then he left.
Yeah, he got hurt and left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kudos to him too for being able to break this yardage record after having a complete reconstruction on his shoulder.
Yeah.
Throwing shoulder too. That's just not something that you'd think, that happened today, they'd be out for 6 months, they'd be crying, it'd be the reason
Listen to how inflated this stat is, though. It's just amazing. Versus the Falcons, which, they're in the division,
Right.
And obviously they play twice a year.
I'm going to go ahead and say it's probably like 15.
Oh.
Higher?
Way, way, way up.
20?
Way, way, way up.
Over 20,000 yards?
Oh, no. I'm sorry, I thought you were... No, still 4 digits. I misunderstood what you...
It's got to be like 7 or 8,000.
Yeah. 8,053.
That's insane.
Yeah. 80,000 yards versus the Falcons. Good for him. Well, I hope that he continues to, be dominant.
If he can stay healthy and play 5 more years, there's a chance we see 100,000.
Yeah.
Because what did he just get? 70,000?
Yeah, 72.
72,000?
72 something.
So you got to figure by the end of the season he'll probably be around 75.
Yeah. That's fair.
It's a stretch. I mean, he throws for 4,000 regularly.
Right.
5,000 to stretch if he's going to throw for 5. I mean, even if it's Drew Brees, 5,000 for 5 straight years is hard to do at any age.
Yeah. But the era of the 4,000-yard passer is,
But I'd like to see him hit 80.
Yeah.
I would like to see him hit 80. There's a chance if he plays 5 more years. Honestly, we would see 100,000. I think we could see 100,000 yards and 600 touchdowns.
Yeah.
That's insane. That's just insane to think about.
And at that point,
600 touchdowns.
Yeah.
That's more touchdowns than the Browns have since 2000.
And no one's going to catch that. Because the players that are playing
I think someone
now,
will.
It would have to be someone probably like a rookie in the next.
Yeah, it'd be like Mahomes or like an Allen or something like that.
Because unfortunately, Luck has been too injured and not really playing well enough to like we thought he would be. Like we thought that was gonna be the guy to kind of take a run at the run for it.
What?
That was like a sniffle chime-in kind of thing. Like it was
I'm
just.
sorry.
All right.
Stop.
So MLB postseason. Is that what I heard you talking about?
Yeah. I figured we just touch base on that.
No, thank you.
Well, the
Yankees
didn't advance.
We want Boston.
Yeah, I'll tell you what.
It's fine if they lose. It's just the fact that they lost to Boston. That's what hurts.
Well, there's all the controversy behind the calls, but at the end of the day,
Boston beat us in one game 16-1, right?
Yeah,
Like,
there was quote unquote a lot of controversial calls in that game.
I couldn't watch the whole game,
But the
mostly
thing is-
because I fell asleep.
The thing is, I don't care because if you take away all the runs that were maybe they still probably beat you 10-1. You still only put up 1 run against the Boston Red Sox.
yeah,
You were not going to win that game.
Right.
I'm sorry.
Yep.
You put up 1 run.
Yeah, and the thing is, that it's full of such people complaining about it. It's because of the stupid Aaron Judge thing, playing the song and all that, and people making that. To me, that's not news. I don't care about that. That happens all the time. People, taking a shot.
Yeah.
Because you're proud of your team. You're trying to make a statement, whatever it is. But I mean, that is negative attention or whatever you want to call it. It doesn't matter. I don't care. Like play the song when you win at home.
I don't even know what song you played because I fell asleep.
New York,
so.
New York.
Oh.
Which honestly, actually, I didn't know that. I've been to 1 or 2 Yankees games and they've won. I don't remember that song playing.
No.
Wait, the
But
Start Spreading the News? That one?
I don't know. Usually,
'Cause that's the song that plays when they win at home.
well, I guess because usually when that game's over, I'm just trying to get out of there.
I don't think anybody's playing a song when they win it on the road. New York, Milwaukee. But yeah, so the pretty clean sweeping across the DSs though.
Yeah.
Red Sox take it in 5 or 4. The Stros swept the
Very impressive fashion.
the Indians. The Brewers swept the
Yeah, Rockies. Thanks.
Rockies.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things.
and
Remember the discussion? I'm sorry to interrupt.
the Dodgers. I think they also swept too, right?
No,
No, the Dodgers lost a game to the Braves.
Yeah.
Dodgers won it in 4.
Remember we were talking about a little while back, a long time ago, kind of just happy to be there.
Yeah.
I felt that was kind of like the air in Colorado, excuse the pun.
Well, I don't think it was like a happy to be there. I just like Colorado got hot at various times throughout the season to stay competitive with the Dodgers, but they just never had the firepower.
Yeah.
They just didn't have the firepower. They didn't have the pitching.
I think the best they were playing this season was probably early summer, maybe in June or July. I don't have the stats in front of me, but I recall that being.
I mean, they stayed hot enough throughout the year, but
Yeah, but at their best, I feel was probably the summertime, and then
they were one of those teams that they won it. They got into the playoffs through fundamental baseball. They didn't get in by dominating over long stretches or going on multiple 15, 16-game win streaks. They went in, they pretty much played the season with the mentality of, hey, win every series and you make the playoffs.
Yeah. A good mantra to play by.
I mean, if you win there's 162 games, right? So you divide that by 3, that's 54. So if you win, I know there's 4-game series and all that stuff, but if 3-game series on average, if you win 2 out of 3 games, you're going to get 108 victories.
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't get 108 victories, but Still,
Yeah.
108 victories, there's no way you don't make the playoffs.
Right.
There'd have to be some really fucked up bad teams. There'd have to be some, 10-win
Yeah,
teams.
a lot of Baltimore
Worse.
teams. Yeah.
But, yeah, so now we're in the CS, the championship series. Last night we had 2 games, Dodgers and Brewers in game 2. Dodgers pulled out a 4-3 win, so that series is tied up.
Yep, in the 8th, somebody hit a home run, 2-run homer.
Yeah,
I had that page up.
I got it here.
Yeah.
And then the first game, though, was nuts with the pitcher hitting a home run off Kershaw.
Yeah, I was thinking, that would have been my toast to excellence if I wanted to give it to Drew Brees.
It was Justin Turner.
Justin Turner. Ah, man, a Met doing good elsewhere.
And then the Astros just
Keep
took
on-
it to the Sox.
Keep on rolling.
7-2.
Yeah, and
So-
that was another 3-run homer in the 9th.
Yeah,
They put a stamp on it.
yeah. Sale didn't get the loss. He gave up 2. But Verlander, man,
Yeah, he's
the
feeling it
real
right
deal.
now.
he got 2 earned runs, but he didn't give up. He gave up the only 2 runs, but it was in the 5th. But other than that, 6 Ks. Thing is, this is the best thing. Verlander didn't even have a great game. He pitched 6 innings. He only gave up 2 hits, 2 runs, 4 walks, and 6 Ks. But he didn't give up runs until that later thing, and then they pulled him, and then the bullpen went in, and the bullpen pitched 3 innings, and gave up a 1-hit performance with no walks
Yeah,
in 3 innings. It's pretty good.
yeah. I think that's a very, we discussed this last week, a very complete team in Houston. I think Boston is going to win a game, at least a game in this series. But I tend to think Houston is going to roll on. I think foreseeably, I'm trying to do the math in my head because this is a 7 game. I think we'll be talking World Series next week, or I'm trying to picture in my head what's going to break down.
Yeah.
So we're on game 2, and there's a travel day for the NL, and then Boston plays tonight.
Yep. So you got an AL game tonight, so that's Sunday. So tomorrow we'll have, because they do what, 2-3-2 or 2-2-1-1-1?
2-3. I think it's 1-1. 2-3. God, it's like I knew, and now I
No,
feel
it
like
can't be 1-1 because that would be a home advantage for the away team.
Then it's got to be
2-3-2.
yeah.
I don't know.
See, I feel like they changed it.
Yeah.
But anyway, so we probably won't be talking World Series next week, but we could.
Well, no, because you got to figure if they play 2 games, if the NL plays 2 games, they'll play Monday and Tuesday. And then they would take a travel day on Wednesday. I mean, granted, could.
Like if we see like a win in 5 or a sweep.
But
I don't know if that's how it's going to shape up.
yeah, I mean, it's possible. It's definitely possible. I think the Red Sox are. I don't think they're gonna. I think they're gonna win at least a game.
Yeah,
I just think they have too much firepower.
I think Brewers Dodgers will probably be more competitive than the Houston series. I don't know. It's just a feeling. It doesn't mean anything. Just an impression I have.
It's definitely it's shaping up, though. I mean, the Brewers are definitely that team. If you don't have anybody to cheer for, the Brewers are the team that's going to get a lot of backing. It's a new thing. It's a new team in there. It's a new team playing really well. Not to take anything away from the Dodgers, but tons of California fans that don't cheer for the Dodgers are going to want somebody else to win.
Yeah, and the Dodgers always seem to
the entire East Coast is going to be anti-Red Sox. If you're not New England. And the Astros, I think a lot of people, a lot of baseball fans would be very pleased with an Astros Brewers World Series. I think a lot of fans that don't cheer for those 2 teams would be be indifferent about the outcome. I think they would just hope for good baseball.
There's the
I feel like there's definitely more Dodgers haters and Red Sox haters than there are Astros and Brewers haters.
Yeah.
My fear is just I don't know if, granted, Kershaw didn't pitch that well in Game 1 of the championship series. I just don't know if the Brewers have the pitching power to keep up with the Astros like the Dodgers do. I mean, there's even though it happened last year, just how sexy is it in baseball talk to just hear Kershaw Verlander game 1.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like that. It's just
it's a dream type
right,
situation.
It's 2 of the top 5 pitchers in baseball, in my opinion. I mean, it's just how it goes. It's a good feel. It's just not to take anything away. Not that Sale Kershaw doesn't sound good or whatever like that, but Kershaw has just always been good. He's been decent in the postseason. Verlander's always been a monster.
Yeah, and that's my pick for. Well, so I see a repeat, but speculation.
Right.
But it's interesting too, and I remember in years past this happening, and I don't know if it was just because it was late in the series, but I do remember when they didn't play a Sunday night game, so it wasn't like a conflicting viewership.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess it's because the series just started. It doesn't matter, And this is a very intriguing Sunday night game, Kansas City, New England. That's going to draw a lot of viewership tonight.
Oh yeah,
big time.
Kansas City, New England's going to draw a lot of viewership because Kansas City, granted it's been 2 games, but they've had their number. There's a few intriguing matchups. Unfortunately, one of the games I thought was going to be pretty hot. Looking at it, after the first few weeks of the season, it was going to be Denver, LA, but after Denver's shit the bed performance against the Jets,
yeah, it's
defensively.
Right.
Offensively, I don't really think any real football fan. I don't think anybody's that surprised about Case Keenum's performance.
He's playing for me. He's playing kind of like I expected. He can make some throws, but
he took a downgrade in offense. Diggs was having a hot year. Thielen's having a hot year. Rudolph is a solid tight end. And so he took a backwards move on offense. The run game has really helped him out a lot, but not really because he hasn't been able to capitalize on passes. So, but I don't know. I'm just you think about some games that are captivating this week. There's a lot of. I think the viewership is going to be pretty high this week. I think there's a lot of teams that are still shocking people, and doing stuff. Bears, Dolphins. The Dolphins are 2-0 at home. 2-0 at home. 1-3 on the road, or 1-2 on the road. They've dropped their last 2 by double digits or more, but they are undefeated at home. Granted, it's 2 games. There's questions as to right now. Tannehill's a game time decision, so there's the potential for Brock Osweiler to suit up. But you look at Adam Gase going up against his former team. Bears are riding three wins, but they're coming off a bye. The defense is good, but can Trubisky still do Trubisky things?
Yep.
People are dying to see Howard get going. I think that game's got a lot of really good potential in it. Obviously Kansas City. It's just I don't know. The past couple of weeks, this week included, I just feel like very dud primetime games.
Yeah,
Granted, I know injury played a part into it, but who's excited about Green Bay, San Fran? Yeah. And honestly, I wouldn't even be that excited about it if Garoppolo was playing.
Well, because they came off a very slow start,
Well, it's the thing though is it's just even though Garoppolo won all those games last year, it's like their defense, the defense is still not that good. They don't really have a lot of all-star weapons. He made it work,
yeah.
but still not a lot of all-star high-powered weapons. It's just, to me, there's so many other games that,
Yeah.
I get it. It's Green Bay, it's Aaron Rodgers, Garoppolo. I get the names, but it's just...
Yeah. Well, kind of like we anticipated. I think Green Bay...
That's more like America's Game of the Week.
Like a Fox
425 game.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. And like we discussed, Green Bay is definitely not the team of 2 or 3 years ago. It's just not.
I'll give the NFL scheduling credit. On paper, Eagles-Giants should have been a fantastic Thursday night matchup. Should have been.
Yeah.
And honestly, neither team is performing to standards at this point.
When you look back to a couple weeks ago, Baltimore-Pittsburgh, everyone wants to make the big deal like this. This is still a really good rivalry. It's not really a great rivalry anymore. It's a rivalry. It's not a great one. And Baltimore kind of runs away with it in the second half. It's that wasn't fun to watch.
What was last week was Saints Redskins. It was cool for Drew Brees, but they didn't know it when they scheduled it that Brees would be breaking the record at that point. But it was just gross. What was the Thursday night game?
This past one?
Yeah.
Last week was Colts
Patriots?
Yeah, come on. Great. no one could anticipate what Andrew Luck was going to come back from injury. But
you knew what the Colts team was.
Yeah. The Colts team is not much different than last year's Colts. It's a team not complete. And, like, of course New England is going to just roll over them. It's just, I don't know. And then they make this big deal to start the year. I guess more so Fox. Be like, oh, the Thursday games are really good this year. Well, maybe one or two have been pretty good. But the past two, it kind of reminds me of Thursday games of old.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
My thing is, Thursday night games, I'm on the fence. I don't know how I feel about them. It's great. I know the NFL will never do away with them for the ching value of it. For a football fan, it's great because it's the only game on. It has your full attention. There's no cutting away for highlights, and the commentators, are primarily just focusing on the game. The halftime analysis are pretty much just focusing on the game, because there's a lot that can still happen in 40 or 48 to 72 hours from other games.
Right.
So unless there's really big outside storylines, it's primarily focused on the game. But the thing is you look at a game like New England versus the Colts. Sure, it's a conference game, but it's not division. You've got a Colts team playing on a short week, going on the road.
And you're
at such a disadvantage when you do that. Forget the Patriots. It's just, but you're at a disadvantage already because you're on the road. Now you add in a short week. People haven't had a chance to rest. At least if you're playing at home, you've got the crowd backing you up, that 12th man mentality. I just think that, granted, not all of them are going to be superstar games and showdowns, but for me, honestly, I think that even though it's got a lot of implications into playoffs, I think if you really want to bring spark back to Thursday Night Football, I think what they need to do is they need to make every Thursday night game a division game. I think every Thursday night game should be a division game. It takes a lot away from home field advantage because when you play a division game, you look at like Pittsburgh, Baltimore. Pittsburgh has played in Baltimore's house so many times that they know what they're going in there for. Not to say Andrew Luck doesn't know what it's like to go into Foxborough, or Drew Brees is going to know what it's like to go into Tampa, whatever. Not Tampa, but like MetLife. Of course they know what it's like. They know what it's like to go in there. But it's different when you're in there. You're in there every year, regardless of who the schedule says you're going to be playing. You're going in that stadium once a year. And so it takes a little bit away from the home field advantage. The players are going to play with a little bit more ramped up intensity because every win is a huge deal. If the Colts were able to knock off the Patriots, that's a big deal. But, if the Jets were playing the Patriots, it's a much bigger deal.
Right.
If the Jets were to knock off the Patriots. Or, like, if the Giants-Eagles. The Eagles winning that game was huge. Because they're not running away with the division at this point in time. But now they've got a game up in the division. Which could very well be what it comes down to. So I think division football is the way to go for Thursday night games. I just think it is. And the other thing, too, is really for most teams, it also gives you the ability for an easier travel.
Right.
Because, I understand, if LA's got to play like Seattle or Arizona, that's a much geographically bigger division. But like when Philly was playing the Giants, they didn't have to take, a half a day off out of their schedule to fly. They just took the bus up.
Yeah.
Right. You just take a 2-hour ride in a bus.
Yeah.
And it gives, everyone's together. It gives, you separate them offense, defense on the bus. You can do some game plan stuff. And it's a much shorter travel time, if you.
Well, and mathematically, too, let's say Thanksgiving was just one game. Mathematically, if we did division games, each team could play, like the whole season could be filled with a division.
I'd love to know, I don't know if, we can pose this question again later when we're on Facebook Live. I want to know, I've never really sat down and researched it. Why did the Lions get the peg for Thanksgiving games? I get the Cowboys are America's team, whatever. But why did the Lions get the push for Thursday football? Or for Thanksgiving football? They
did actually, either on Thanksgiving or close to it, they did a story, like recently, in the past 2 years, about those teams getting those games. And I wish I could remember now, but I watched it, and there was some reasoning. It's going to kill me. We'd have to look it up. But there's something specific why Dallas got it and why Detroit got it. They're both home games for them. It's just one of those things. And then as of late, they added the nighttime, which is just kind of like it's just your normal Thursday night game. You know it doesn't really have a Thanksgiving feel. I think like NBC covers it. They do. You bite the turkey leg.
Yeah.
That's why. Great.
Yeah, and I don't know. And the games get weird sometimes. I don't know. The Thanksgiving games, I'm not opposed to the 3 games on Thanksgiving by any means. I don't know. Sometimes the games they just don't have a exciting feel, I guess.
Well, it's tough because I feel like there's a lot of people that eat their Thanksgiving meal during the early afternoon. So unless you have the game on simultaneously, you're not giving your full attention.
Yeah, I think a lot of people definitely watch 2 o'clock.
Yeah, and
or eat 2 o'clock.
They're odd starts too. I think it's a 3 and it's a 1. I don't think it's a 1 and a 4.
I don't know.
Well, I'm dropping the ball on that point I'm trying to make, but I don't know if it's a normal start time like on a Sunday. For some reason, I think it was.
It might be earlier.
Might be.
I don't know. I'll pull it up. We'll see.
But I like that. I could get behind division matchups being Thursday night. It gives every game you're playing for something, but something more you're playing for on Thursday.
12:30, 4:30, 8:20.
Yeah. So it's like a half hour earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah. And 4:30 is kind of like the America's game of the week.
This Thanksgiving is going to be great. All NFC games, all division games.
Really?
Yep.
Wow. When was the last time that's ever? They usually force feed an AFC game.
Bears at the Lions, Skins at the Cowboys, and Falcons Saints.
Very traditional, like Redskins, Cowboys. Yeah. That's good. I like that.
Yeah. See, I don't know. It's just for me, I understand. I'm not gonna take anything away. I'm not gonna say the Lions should be pulled from Thanksgiving football. No. It's been that way for a long time. I'm just curious as to why. I'd love to know, but I don't know. Don't you think Thanksgiving, one of the things you think about is football. Doesn't it just seem like it should be Bears Packers on Thanksgiving?
Yeah, it's very most storied franchises in football.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a reason why the Lions were picked, and I don't remember off the top of my head now why, but there was some. See, this is a time wish Uncle Bob was here because I know he would just know it.
Yeah,
just one of those things.
See, my thing is I think that for the Lions and the Cowboys at least, I think that because the night game, the Lions and the Cowboys. Don't they almost always play the day games?
Yeah.
And it's usually the other...
Always,
yeah. I think that they should do some sort of rotation for whatever the game, the 8:20 game is. Because I remember a couple years back it was Ravens-Steelers.
Yep.
Ravens, I think, won that game. I remember Tucker eating the leg.
Yeah.
And then, I have no problem with that. But I think that the Cowboys and I think that the Lions should just do a rotation of playing a division game. I just think it creates better football. Like we said, it's a short week. It's a short, just very distracted week. Because it's one thing to play on a short week, but now you're playing on a short week, and you're not going to be with your family.
Right.
Type of thing. It's just it's a slight distraction. I'm sure for the greats it doesn't matter, but I think they should play the Bears this year, the Packers next year, the Vikings the year after that, and then back to the Bears, back to the Packers, back to the Vikings. I think it should be a rotation, just like I think it should go Redskins, Cowboys, Eagles. Redskins, Eagles, Giants.
Yeah. This has kind of been I think you've noticed this as well, the way teams were scheduled. It seems odd. I know the Bears, we were talking about this on Friday, the Bears have a very tough ending with 3 consecutive division games.
Yeah, the Bears will play. The whole schedule is actually pretty odd. So the Bears opened up against the division rival Packers. Then they played back-to-back NFC West games. Then their division standing NFC South team. Then they went on their bye. Then they play the entire AFC 4 consecutive games.
Yeah.
And then the last 6 games of the season, or 8 games of the season, are closed out with the Rams, the 49ers, the Giants, and then 5 division games.
Yeah.
I want to say it goes, and yeah, I'm pretty sure it goes Lions. I think it goes Lions, Vikings. I can look it up, but I think it goes Lions, Vikings, Lions, 49ers. No. I don't know. I think it goes Lions, Vikings, 49ers, Lions, Packers. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so Pittsburgh is dealing with the same thing. Right now, we're going on a 3-game all-division, game matchups. So we play Cincinnati today, then we play Baltimore again, I believe, and then Cleveland. And it's like we just played Baltimore 2 weeks ago. It'll be within 2 weeks when we play them next is Falcons.
And see, to me, that's something that the scheduling, I understand there's tons of shit that goes into it. Nothing far beyond our comprehension. But I just feel like you're missing out on good football down the stretch.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not, the Steelers and the Ravens are always going to play. And, a lot of these, the first 4 weeks of the season are like preseason. A lot of teams are still trying to find their identity, figure things out, blah, blah, blah. But it's just like, you look at a team like the AFC North, or a division like the AFC North, where it's so competitive all the time. And the Steelers are by no means out of it. The Ravens have been playing well this year, even though they dropped that duck to the Browns. The Bengals are on fire right now. The Browns are a much improved team. This is a division where you're very likely going to see 3 out of these 4 teams in the playoffs. And why would you not want to? And I know that you don't know how teams are going to come out, but why would you not want to schedule more of those division games towards the end? Right. Last 4 games of the seasons. For me, if I'm like an NFL fan, the last 4 games of the season, I want to see each of those teams playing 2 division games. I want to see Steelers, Ravens, Steelers, Bengals. I want to see Bengals, Ravens, Bengals, Browns, or Bengals, Steelers, Bengals, Browns, and I want to see Ravens, Steelers, Ravens, Browns.
Yeah, and it's tough because Pittsburgh, because they were a first place team, they end kind of with a lot of first place. We play Patriots like week 15 or 16. Mm-hmm. We go on and we
play Kansas City.
Yep. We're going to play New Orleans late.
Yep.
I don't know. I can't remember when that is.
Well, that's your division that you play. You play the South, and then you got to play Jacksonville.
Yeah, and those are all late games. I figured that it would kind of be spread out,
What division are you playing within the AFC? Are you playing the West? Yeah, you play the West, right? No.
Oh, my God.
Who'd you play so far this year? Ravens, the Browns.
Bengals. No, we haven't played Bengals yet. This will be
Ravens,
first.
Browns, Chiefs, Falcons.
Chiefs, Falcons.
You tied the Browns. You lost to the Ravens.
Let's see. Hold on.
You lost to the Chiefs. Beat the Falcons. And
we're playing the West because we have Broncos, Chiefs, Raiders.
Okay.
All back. Look, same deal. Just like I was saying. At some point, like the Bears had the same deal. We're playing the Broncos, Chargers, and Raiders back-to-back consecutive weeks.
Yeah.
Just odd scheduling. Usually it's spread out.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's interesting. It's interesting.
Yep. And then this week, Bengals, followed by Browns, Ravens. We just played the Ravens. Will be
now you would be a better insight to this than I would. You're more the football guru. So this is not how the season is going. For the Bears, for example, and for the listeners, we're sorry we're harping on the Bears. It's just I'm a Bears fan. I know the schedule. It's just easy to go off of instead of trying to look up other team schedules. But so like the Bears, for example, they play in Miami today. Then they host New England. Then they host the Jets. Then they go to Buffalo. So when they, let's say they were to play back-to-back road games, Sunday, right? Mm-hmm. Say they were playing the Jets and the Patriots. So they travel to the Jets on Thursday or Friday and get their walkthrough and all that stuff. Do they go back home and then travel to New England, or do they just go to New England and spend the week?
They can go home if they want to. It's kind of like the preference of the coaching staff.
I mean, for that, they'd probably go home because it's only a 2.5 hour flight. But like if you're the Rams, and you're playing the Giants one week and then you go away and then you play the Patriots the week after that, Would you really want to put your players
A lot
through...
of teams, because there are tons of facilities, and some
Well, a
arrangement
lot
can
of
be
teams
made.
just practice at high school stadiums and stuff like that too.
Yeah, and when you're
or colleges.
where you're practicing, it doesn't really affect you. It doesn't mean you're still going through the same stuff. And a lot of times, like a team, like let's say the Rams, and they're going to go play in Buffalo and then New England, and let's say it's in December. You want to get acclimated to that cold weather, so you hold 3 outdoor winter practices that week.
Right.
Just to kind of get yourself acclimated. If it's going to rain, you do the wet ball drill. You work on that 2 days.
Yeah.
But if you wanted, if the coaching staff was happier being back in Los Angeles, they fly back, and then they fly back to New England or whatever that Saturday.
It's interesting how it works, just because it's
in facilities they eat that stuff up. Oh, the Rams are practicing in New Haven all week. That's an outrageous example, but
right.
and
it's publicity.
Yeah,
it gets people coming. Yeah. Well, just because it's tough. Like you think about it, like there's so much time, even though it goes so quick for the players, feels like forever for the fans. There's so much time in between games.
Right.
It's not like in the NBA where you go and you go on a 6-game road trip where you play Sacramento, the Clippers, Phoenix, Dallas. You just keep going from city to city. You stay in the hotels, or like in baseball where you go on a you have a 3-game or a 6-game road trip. You go and if you're the Cardinals, you go and you play the Pirates and you play the Brewers. It's like, well, we're posted up in Milwaukee for 3 days for the game, so it's like we're not moving.
Right.
It's definitely interesting. Baseball is one of those ones too that's very interesting because baseball, unlike football, basketball, and like hockey, baseball you can't practice on a non-MLB field because there's no measurement sanctions. You can't go out and do BP on a high school field. It's not the same.
Yeah. I mean, for the most part, you're playing so consecutive games, like they don't need practice because every game's a practice for them, essentially. Though, each game you start with do batting practice.
Right. But what I'm saying is like they have to, when like the Cardinals, if they're going to play the Brewers, they got to, that game they got to split time during the day. Okay, this time's for the Brewers, this time's going to be for the Cardinals. Whereas like for football, like if you're training or whatever like that, you could train at a college nearby because it's 100 yards.
Right.
You can train at a high school field because it's 100 yards. For basketball, you could college court or something like that. Hockey dimensions are a little different, but relatively the same type of deal. But for like baseball, you can't. I mean, baseball alone isn't college baseball. I think it's the same, but isn't high school baseball 60 feet?
I think. I wish Scholes were here to answer that question. I think
it's 60 feet. Or like 70 or something like that. It's not 90.
No, I don't think it is either.
It's not the same. So, but you got to think, though, because it's not, you think of everything that fucks up. Okay, well, big deal. It's not 60. It's 60 feet to first base instead of 90 feet. It's like, well, yeah, but in order for that to happen, that means it's got to be 60 to second and 60 to third and 60 to home, which now means that the pitcher's mound's not 52.5 feet away from home plate.
Right. That ball you're throwing 90 miles an hour is coming to the
exactly.
left.
It's going to be. It's like you're not going to benefit if you're a real good hitter that's on a good hot streak. You're not going to benefit from having Clayton Kershaw throwing his fastball from 7 feet closer.
Right.
It's just going to fuck up your timing.
Yeah, for sure.
It's definitely interesting. What was it? Your boy had his anniversary not too long ago.
Who's that?
Deion Sanders.
Oh,
when he played a game for the Falcons and then a playoff game for the Braves all on the same day.
Yeah, that's right.
That anniversary was this past week.
Yeah. What's interesting about him, his son was just agreed to go and play in the Seminoles. What's
Florida?
Yeah, it's not South Florida. That's different.
Florida State.
Florida State, yeah. I'm pretty sure that's where he played, and his son just committed to going there.
That's
cool. It's like a what do you call that? Like a heritage thing, father son.
Yeah.
And something else about him too, and I forgot what I was going to say. But very cool. I want to get. If we do a jersey order, I think I'm going to get a. I don't know about Braves, but he played for like some other. He played for like the Reds and the Yankees. Maybe I'll get a Sanders Reds jersey.
That'd be cool. So anyway, we got way off track, but back to baseball. You think Price pitches for the Red Sox? You think he's a starter pitcher for them during the series, or you think he's a bullpen guy?
I think he's going to be a bullpen guy, and I've talked to a lot of people who kind of agree with that thought process. I don't know if it's always kind of like, well, do we give him one more? It's always, do we give him one more chance to, to prove himself? I think we've seen too much in 2 years, and you just kind of like.
Well, you're wrong because he's pitching tonight.
Is he pitching?
Him versus Cole.
Wow. Well, for me, this is it. If you don't perform tonight, and I'll tell you what,
he's definitely on a short leash.
And I was talking to Bob on Tuesday, Uncle Bob on Tuesday. I think because they have some prospects coming up. I don't know where they are along in their development, but I'm sure they're close. And I don't really know the free agent market for pitchers this year. If it's something good, the Red Sox are a win now team. If there's somebody available and those prospects are close, I don't think they hesitate to. Price will be gone.
Well, and the thing too is the Red Sox kind of have a bad history of having quality players walk.
Yeah.
Well, not walk, like not want to pay them.
Right, and what's funny too, to sort of that point, so many players coming off of really hot years, and they kind of don't perform, underperform, whatever it is, and then like they expect a certain amount of money because they were making that type of money where they're playing prior.
JD Martinez.
Yeah, I think of guys like Carl Crawford who just laid an absolute egg, after coming from Tampa. Yeah. I don't know what his contract was like, but Price is kind of following that route, if you will.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the fairy tale for the Red Sox is on its way out. I don't know. It's just I just feel like they're that team that's maybe for the next 2 or 3 years is going to continuously get really close. And they might even make it to the World Series.
No, they won't.
They might make it in the next 2 or 3 years. Maybe this year. Who knows? I
think, Houston's the team to beat. And I'm going to be shocked if we're talking in a week's time or 2 weeks' time if Boston makes it and Houston doesn't. I'll be very surprised.
And unfortunately, Houston's the team to beat, really. Not that the Brewers or the Dodgers can't do it. I just feel like they're on paper they're fighting for the underdog spot.
Yeah, it's like,
because the deal is Houston's, I feel like, the more high-powered team, the team to beat. But if Boston knocks off Houston, Boston's right. Now look at what Boston did. So,
I tend to agree that the NL, whoever Dodgers or Brewers, they're playing like the underdog. This is so who's going to go lose to the AL is basically what's going to happen.
And not that that's going to happen by any means.
But it's kind of like the thought process.
Yeah, you look at last year, Dodgers gave Houston a great run for their money. Still love thinking about that. One of the greatest World Series that's ever happened. Such a dud Game 7. Yeah, we're all excited about it.
I think we recorded. They were like hanging out in my basement.
Yeah, and it just didn't shape up to what we thought it was going to be.
Darvish just like gets whacked.
J-Mart was there for that. Yeah, we were so upset about it. We were just like, oh god, let's go get Taco Bell or something.
Yeah, what a bummer.
Yeah, I mean it was cool to see when it guy proposed. Was it Springer proposed to his girlfriend?
No, was it Verlander? Didn't Verlander propose to?
No.
Oh, you know what? You're right. You're right. Yeah. Because they went on like vacation or something, and something like that.
Yeah, they got married right after.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Because he missed the parade. They went to Italy and got married.
Yeah.
No, I think it was Springer. Because didn't he win MVP?
Yeah.
Then he win World Series MVP, and then he proposed to his girlfriend.
Yeah, I think you're right. I'm pretty sure. Now I'm thinking about it. Yeah, I don't know. I was convinced of Verlander.
Lucky bastard. It's shaping up to be a good one.
Yeah, I'm excited, and so far I've only seen one game because we were out at the time, so we watched the Dodgers Brewers.
Yeah.
I'm intrigued. I want to watch Houston Boston, but I'm gonna watch football tonight because I'm a slave to the NFL, so I'm gonna miss that game. During the middle of the week, I'm gonna be trying to watch NHL, because I want to be able to contribute more there. So it's like, if that falls in a game, like I can catch a game, I kind of like pick and choose.
Well, it's tough. If you're not like Kyle, who's a slave to the MLB,
Yeah.
It's hard to put, like for me, like I like to watch great baseball, don't get me wrong, but like if the Blackhawks or the Bulls are on, I'm going to want to watch them more than I'm going to want to watch Milwaukee and LA.
A team that I don't root for.
Yeah. So we're gonna go to the break soon, but let's get it out of the way. Let's talk the New York dumpster fire real quick.
No.
We'll make it a brief discussion, but not a great few months, huh?
Yeah, and
The Yankees go in and they made the playoffs, but there was a good stretch leading up to it where they might not have. Then they win the wild card game and then get slapped around at home by Boston.
yeah,
And the Yankees won a game, right? No. Did the Yankees win a game?
We won
One in Boston,
game.
right?
Yeah.
yeah, they won because it was
Because Boston won it at home, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I think it was 4.
They won it in 4.
1 and 4.
No, so they won it in New York. They lost one in Boston, they won both in the Bronx.
Yeah, because it was a game after the 16-1 route.
It'd be 2-2, because they go 2-2-1. So 2 in Boston, 2, yeah. But then, so they lose to Boston in pretty dramatic fashion at the end there. Giants...
They can't get it together, and it's the same stuff over and over.
Well, and now it's implosion time from within. A lot of people, a lot of Giants fans were happy Eric Flowers was booted. And, now you look like, now he's possibly getting a job with the Jaguars.
Yeah.
And it's I hate to say it, I know Mock would disagree 100% if he was here, but I think Eric Flowers is going to have success elsewhere. I just do.
Yeah, sometimes your
it's one of those things where
clouded.
Eric Flowers was bad on the Giants, but the offensive line is bad as a whole.
Right.
If
And
Eric
he was
Flowers slides into a decent offensive line,
there's always one person to blame,
right?
and that's just how it is.
But the defense isn't playing well.
No.
Barkley is their one shining star right now.
It's the same deal from Beckham. He'll say something, then he's like, "Oh, I'm going to."
Well, now he's publicly criticizing Eli Manning, and not even and we talked about it, or we didn't talk about it. A lot of analysts have talked about it. I don't agree with him posting a thing about it with Lil Wayne and you're an NFL athlete. Like Eli Manning is one of the most respected quarterbacks in football. The guy has won two Super Bowl MVPs, right? You won both?
Yes.
Yeah.
Won 2 Super Bowl MVPs, has 2 Super Bowls. He's going to Canton one day, and you just don't have the respect to say it to your quarterback or your coach. I think the Beckham signing was more fear. Really, I think that's what I think that it was less about wanting
You
to
don't
have
want to
Beckham on their team than to have Beckham be our worst enemy.
Yeah, you don't want that guy to beat you.
Right. I don't know. There's just a lot of implosion going on. Still too early in the hockey season to be shitting on the Rangers or the Islanders, so that's good. And then the Knicks fans are just Knicks fans. They did release Noah though.
He'll play again.
Oh yeah, Timberwolves.
Yeah, I see that.
No, they said they weren't going to go after him. We'll see.
Yeah.
all it takes is an injury to Karl Anthony Towns.
Right.
But
They can say that all they want. He's there.
I don't know, man. I just the loss of the Eagles definitely a fork in the Giants season.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. I expected them to kind of.
I think everyone did.
I thought they were going to win big in Dallas.
I think a lot of people had them pegged as a playoff team this year. Because, you look at what happened last year. The defense played poorly, but they were on the field so much because of all the injuries. I mean, their 3 top receivers went down for multiple games. They didn't have a run game going. The one solid consistency was Eli. And they're just not getting it done. And I don't know. I still kind of...
And something too, I remember how big...
I'm still having a hard time pointing the finger at Eli and saying he needs to go.
Yeah.
I don't want Eli to leave.
I think that it's time that they start looking at the future without Eli. But I definitely don't think that he's... I think if Eli leaves mid-season or gets benched or whatever, I just think it's a backwards move.
Yeah. And something too, I remember we were talking the defense briefly. Everyone was so big on Landon Collins. He had a big year. And really, he hasn't been sharp.
No.
He's played okay.
Eli Apple.
That secondary.
Granted, they were
rough.
missing what's his face there, the linebacker. Blanking on his name.
Who linebacker are we talking?
Verner.
Olivier Vernon.
Yeah, Vernon. Yeah, he was injured. That's but it's just the same. It's like the Dolphins. They were missing. I forget the name, but they were missing an offensive lineman, and he went down, and the offensive line completely went to shambles. And it's like Olivier Vernon. It's like he's a big part of the Giants' defense. Don't get me wrong, but it's like if your defense is going to crumble that much when you lose a above average performing guy, what does that really say about your defense? You know what I'm saying? Like it's not, like if the Bears lost Mac, it definitely would be a big firepower miss for them. But they still have pass rushers.
They have depth.
Exactly. There's still things to do. It's like when you look back at the Steelers defense, like if they had lost James Harrison, they still had Timmons. They still had all these guys that were able to do things and cover and all this stuff back in the defensive Giants.
To your point, that's the thing the Steelers are kind of missing now is that depth. It's kind of shaky. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll go to break. We won't talk to any more New York dumpster fire until it comes time to. Oh, we don't have to talk about the Giants because they already played.
Yeah.
Perfect. So we'll come back next hour. We'll do some NHL talk.
Yeah, I have some fantasy questions I want to bounce off you.
Yeah, we'll do some fantasy talk. We'll do some NBA talk. We'll do some NHL talk. And then in the we're going to be Facebook Live second hour or last hour?
We can do second hour and third hour if you want.
Yeah, we'll do it. We'll be Facebook Live for both hours. Last hour we'll do Riddler's rankings. We're going to keep rolling with the That's Rank Power rankings. Just top 10 though. And obviously our picks for the week. So we'll be back shortly.
And now, back to Getting Sports with Drunk on the PPRN Radio Network.
Welcome back to Getting Sports with Drunk. I'm your hostess, Cupcake the Riddler, and I'm still joined by the Red Baron.
Ran out of gas.
And Rita.
Hello.
Light crowd here. As seen by our video here, where we have 2 Getting Sports with Drunk logos. I mean, I can make it a 3, but I don't know. I like the 4. And Rita's off camera. It's above her, so you can't see her. But we're gonna share the video and please like and if you want to talk about what we're talking about, please get involved. We want to know what you guys think about stuff. I mean, we can talk until we're blue in the face, but give us some interaction. If we're wrong, call us on it. We're not.
We're assholes.
Yeah, right. Exactly. And we'll admit when we're wrong.
Always.
Always.
That's what we do best. So we're back. We got some NBA, some NHL, some fantasy to talk about this hour. NBA season's getting ready to tip off.
That's right.
Having some issues with my phone. It's not charging.
Oh.
Sad.
How old's the phone? What's new?
Hold on. No, wait. It's updating.
What's updating? Like the one that takes like 3 minutes. It's a black screen.
I don't know. Yeah, the NBA season's getting ready to tip off. Got some intriguing matchups the opening night.
Did you share the link?
I haven't found it yet, so we're in the process of sharing the link. But you can still listen to us. We're live.
We're live. So we got some intriguing things going on, NBA wise. There's all that stuff going on about Jimmy Butler. Who followed? He wants out of the Timberwolves. His preferred destination, I guess, was South Beach. But I guess they weren't able to get a trade done with the Heat. The Heat are wanting to revisit trade options. I guess the Timberwolves were also looking at potentially sending him to the Rockets, which would be huge. You figure Chris Paul, James Harden, Melo, and Butler. But he's just been talking a lot of trash in Minnesota. Remember you're going on record saying something along the lines of like Karl Anthony Towns is the best player on the team. Wiggins has like the most God-given talent, but nobody plays harder than him, and he wants people to step up.
Mm-hmm.
And like I guess there was a scrimmage where he took the entire bench, all the reserves, and it was him and 4 reserves versus the rest of the starters, and they beat him and stuff like that. He had some shit to say about the general manager and all that stuff. He's just not been a happy camper. Well, this is obviously not looking like things are going to get done before the season starts. I don't know. You think that's going to really affect Timberwolves? You know, that kind of stuff? I mean...
No, I tend to believe that a team like what I'm trying to say, unlike like football and I guess perhaps baseball, and NBA has its egos and all that, but it's kind of like stuff is said and then they just move on. You know what I mean? If Jimmy Butler wants out, then he's out. They'll find him they have to trade him, right? Or where is he?
They wouldn't cut him.
I
You wouldn't
doubt
cut a
it.
caliber player like
Right.
that.
They'll find a place for him to play. And there's players that, you know, whether it's because the draft is very important in the NBA, and the draft picks are a commodity, they'll find a way to get him play somewhere else if the negative attention comes. And in turn, sometimes this stuff just blows over and like if he's getting the ball and they win games, I feel like those comments like they mean less, and you know, winning kind of solves all problems. That's what I find, especially in basketball. You can't be mad when you're winning, you know.
Right. So yeah, opening night's Tuesday. 76ers Celtics to start, and then Oklahoma City travels to Golden State for ring night.
Yeah.
So, I mean, very, very much could be the first look we get at the Eastern Conference Finals. 76ers and Celtics. We were talking about that last week, kind of. Ben Simmons is, you know, coming off his rookie year. Joel Embiid has asserted himself as a dominant big man in the NBA. They've got some depth. Markelle Fultz is supposed to be better than ever. And the Celtics got their full lineup ready to go. They got Big Al, they got Kyrie, and they got Hayward, and then they were able to really expose depth with some injuries last year, so they know what they're getting out of Jason Tatum and Scary Terry and Brown and Smart. So it's going to be two physical teams, two very talented teams, and two teams that know how to play defense. Could very, very likely see like a 78-82 opening night score. But
is it just because they're on the West Coast? Because I thought that you win the championship, you do the ring ceremony. It's like the first game, but it's because they're on the West Coast.
Yeah, it doesn't always work that way in the NBA. Just because of that type of thing, and the basketball, much like hockey, you know, being like there's just so many teams and so many games played in a season,
right?
That it's kind of like
you just got to get the games in when you
get
them in.
It's just kind of like I don't know. Like for basketball, I feel like it'd just be really annoying to have opening maybe one game,
right?
You know, and
yeah, it's kind of underwhelming,
right?
You know?
Like the games don't take as long as football games, stuff
right.
like that. So because they're on the West Coast, it won't be the first game. But at the same time, I don't think it really doesn't matter. You know, because it's not like in the NFL, they don't do a ring ceremony at the NFL, do they? In the beginning before the game?
No, because they get the rings during the off season.
Right.
You go to the White House and you do that type of thing.
Yeah, I mean, like they do the NBA hasn't been doing it, but you know, you can do the White House visit and all that stuff. But they put it's not like the NFL where they hang banners from the rafters.
Right, like that's the extent of
right. They raise the banners up and stuff like that. They have the trophy on hand and all that stuff and whatnot. It's just. I'm not really a fan of it, to be honest. I mean, I know as a fan of the team being at the game, it's probably really cool. But I just feel like, I don't know, it's imagine being the other team. Like you're lined up to do the national anthem, and then you just got to stand there and you got to watch. Just like I'm not saying it's like you know, like it could like not that it could have been us mentality or anything like that, but it's just like it's a wicked cool off. You do your warm ups, and then you stand there for an extra 20 minutes. While they do the ring ceremony and the banner raise and all that stuff, I don't know.
Yeah,
it's very, very much of a facade. I feel
a little much,
but yeah.
There we go. All right, so we're on Facebook Live now. I had some trouble getting it going. I don't know why, but we should be good now. Make sure you share that fun stuff, as I'm doing right now. Share now. There we go. And Carl is listening. Carl, please chime in. I know Carl's a big fantasy player. So and pretty good, I hear. So we'll have to.
We'll see.
We need to go toe to toe with us.
With Stafford's Grill.
Yeah.
Burning the meat.
Speaking of Stafford's Grill, J-Mart, I feel sorry for you. Because this Sunday and Monday, I don't know what we're going to do to you, but we're going to serve you up See, there's nothing to serve up at a grill. I mean, the serve of slice is so perfect. I've thought about it for days. I don't know what my threat's going to be. I used burn you to a crisp, but that just sounded stupid.
We're going to shish your kebab?
I don't know. I don't know about that one. Maybe if we were a halal place. But not Stafford's Grill. We serve burgers here.
Loti Nagata's Hawaiian getaway. Where we shish you a kebab.
Yeah.
But there's other intriguing matchups as well, not on opening night, first games of the season type of deal. The New York Knicks with some, promising youth are taking on what's supposed to be a surprising Atlanta Hawks team this year. The weird thing is like a lot of teams don't get their first game in until a team's second game. So like the Chicago Bulls, for example, are playing their first game of the season 2 days later from opening night against the 76ers. So the 76ers will be playing their second game of the season. The Bulls will be playing their first game.
That's weird.
Yeah. Cleveland's going up against Toronto. It'll be interesting to see what the Cleveland look is going to be like.
In the second time post-LeBron era.
Right, yeah. But speaking of LeBron, they open up against the Trailblazers.
Yeah.
Be interesting. Dame and McCollum versus the new look Lakers team. I'm also curious to see the Timberwolves with the Spurs.
Yeah.
First time in long time we haven't had the big three in San Antonio. Any member of them.
Yeah.
With Ginobili's retirement, Duncan obviously retired year past. Parker's gone now. He's in Charlotte. So it's Greg Popovich, and we'll see what DeRozan can do.
And to jump back real quick, we were kind of talking. This could be the last ride for Portland, right? And before they kind of, if they don't make a splash, if you will.
Souls made the bold prediction that by the trade deadline, either Lillard or McCollum are gone.
Do you kind of subscribe to that belief, or?
I think it would be more McCollum than Lillard.
Yeah.
I just think that the Trailblazers would be asking too much for Lillard. I think it would be too high profile of a trade to happen midseason. I think that would either be more of an off-season deal or a walk in free agency.
Ooh. Stosh is tuned in.
Stosh? Yeah, big game this week against the Chargers.
Very exciting. You have to tell us. We're going to talk some fantasy in a little bit. We're doing the show for 2 hours Facebook Live, so we'll do matchup. So if you can stick around, we're going to talk Browns for sure. Real quick, I was going to ask you about Trailblazers quick. I mean, it's a team kind of, you think, a victim of Golden State and kind of Houston coming to prominence? No,
they're a victim of their own defeat. They haven't won a playoff game.
Yeah,
it doesn't. I don't care who they face.
On average, where kind of they see kind of like in that 4-5?
Yeah, they're
really higher.
They're a higher end, middle of the pack team usually. They've had some slumpy years, but they're just a team that plays really hard and really well during the regular season, and then they just lose in the playoffs. They just lose. They're like Toronto. They just can't.
Yeah, that's exactly right. They're like the Toronto of the West.
Yeah, they just don't get it done. They just don't get it done in the playoffs. Like the Bengals.
Yeah, it's a shame too because it's an exciting team.
It is. But they were my pick last year. I thought they were going to really get their woes out of the way, but they just went in and got swept. I think if you can even call it a championship window that they had, I think it's closed. I don't really know if it was really ever open. Just with the firepower in the West, I just don't know if they would have ever gotten it done. But I can subscribe to the belief that I don't know if by the trade deadline, but by the start of next season, I definitely think one of them is not there anymore.
Yeah.
It's a shame. They're going to go into a rebuild, which is what a lot of teams are going to do. The Lakers kind of did the rebuild phase and then sped it up quickly with the LeBron edition.
Putting some lithium in the battery there.
Right. but Denver did a rebuild. Essentially, Utah did a mini rebuild there. And a rebuild is really, if you're a team that's not seriously contending for a championship, i.e., if you're not the Warriors, Lakers, or not the Lakers, I wouldn't even say the Lakers right now. I think that they could. I just don't know if they're the contenders. If you're not the Rockets, Warriors, or Thunder, rebuild's kind of the way to go in the West right now. You kind of want to. It's essentially the waiting game. You kind of want to wait for some of these big names to leave.
Yeah, wait out the Boogie and.
But the thing is it's going to be interesting as to what happens because next year, I think win or lose, I think Boogie's gone. He's on a 1-year deal. I think if they lose, he leaves to get the money. If he wins, he gets his ring and leaves to get the money.
Right.
I think this was just a ring thing, There's a lot of talks about Anthony Davis ending up on the Lakers next year. There's talk about Klay Thompson not being on the Warriors next year, but teams, Lakers are a good option for him. So these guys. It's tough. Because if they stay in the West and go to a high-powered team, it makes things a little more difficult, especially with a player like Anthony Davis who has a lot of years of dominance in his tank.
Right.
We haven't even seen everything from Anthony Davis yet, much like you haven't seen everything from Giannis. They're that type of player. Outside of the 76ers and the Celtics, any other team that makes it to the finals is just playing to lose to the West.
Yeah.
I think the Celtics and the 76ers are the only two teams that kind of have the best chance to beat any team that does come out of the West, unless it's the Thunder. If the Thunder were to get hot, and they can, they've got the most explosive point guard in basketball. They've got Paul George still. They've still got Steven Adams. They added a little bit of depth. If they were able to get on a hot streak and make it to the finals, I think other teams could fare a little bit better against them, like a Pacers team if they were able to get hot type of thing. The problem is I think we've reached a point where it's now that LeBron is out of the Cavs, I think we're looking at 76ers, Celtics, Toronto, Houston, OKC, Golden State.
Yeah.
And it's pretty much going to be those three teams kind of running the table. I think we're going to see, we have the potential to see 6 60-win teams this season.
Yeah, and it's evident, like, Atlanta's doing nothing fast.
Well, they're supposed to be a surprise team this year, but I just don't. I don't think any team in the East, outside of those three that were mentioned, have the firepower to contend in a 7-game series.
Right, and I agree.
I am extremely interested to see what Dwight Howard is going to bring for the Wizards.
Well, I was going to say kind of what you were about to say, what you just did say. I would say Washington can be very exciting, perhaps.
Yeah. John Wall, very explosive, very fast, very good with the rock in his hands. Otto Porter, very good three-point shooter, 3-and-D kind of guy. Dwight Howard, if he can bring back some of that physical dominance, that he kind of displayed in Charlotte. I think that team could be trouble for a lot of teams in the East. But, again, I don't think they have the firepower to withstand a 7-game series against the Celtics or the 76ers, and I sure as hell don't think they have the firepower to keep up in a series with the Warriors or the Rockets.
Yeah, no way.
The Rockets are definitely the Rockets. If they were able to land Jimmy Butler, would be huge because then you have two lockdown defenders who can score the ball, and then two guys that can score the ball at will.
Right.
And Harden and Anthony, and then defensively you'd have Butler and Paul. Because Melo's not a defender, Harden's not a defender. The Rockets are kind of, that Kansas City Chiefs of NBA where it's like, we're just going to score more than you.
Yeah, exactly.
We're going to score more than you. The Drew Brees, the Saints, like, we don't really care what happens on the other side of the ball. We're just going to score more points than you.
Yeah. Hey, and it's working. Has worked.
Yeah. And like I said, I seriously think we 2 injuries don't happen. I think Chris Paul and Kyrie Irving don't get hurt last year. I think we would have seen Celtics Rockets.
So real quick, we far too often, and I like it, we do our way too early predictions. We're not doing that right now. We're gonna do the same for NHL. But in your opinion, what do you think in these first couple of games? What's a sure thing? What's a sure thing to happen? It could be anything. In your opinion, what's like a for sure thing that's gonna happen in the first 15 games that we're gonna see?
I think it's a for sure thing that the Rockets are going to get off to a hot start, and after 15 games, be number one in the West.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're going to see a lot of what we kind of saw last year. I don't firmly believe. I mean, I know Cousins is there, but I don't firmly believe that it's a lock in that the Rockets or that the Warriors are going to be the number one seed. I think that the Rockets have a lot of potential to do really good things. So there's that. I think it's a for sure thing that the Lakers are not going to get off to a 15-0 start. I think that I think they might go 8-7 or something like that. I think that there's going to be some things to work out. NBA basketball is a lot different than preseason basketball. And I think it's a for sure thing that the Celtics 76ers opening night game might be the best game that we seen played in the East through the early months of basketball. Maybe the whole league. Other than that, not really sure. I think a lot of stuff's up in the air. It's going to be interesting to see if Donovan Mitchell keeps his firepower from last year. There's a lot of questions about what the Wizards team is going to be like. There's questions about how Kawhi is going to be returning from a year off of basketball. There's questions as to if the Bulls are going to be able to surprise some people, not in a 1 seed fashion, but maybe a 4 seed type of mentality. I mean, they did lose Markkanen for an extended period of time, which is really going to hurt them. But they did get Jabari Parker. Are the Bulls going to become a defensive team, or are they going to try to be an offensive team like the Rockets? It's going to be interesting. A lot of questions about the Bulls, actually. Is Levine going to play to his contract? Is Chris Dunn going to, be a defensive giant like he can be? There's a lot of questions. There's a lot of uncertainties, I feel like. And it's going to be interesting. I think, though, bold prediction for the first 15 games is I think Oklahoma plays spoiler to ring night.
Yeah?
I do. I think Oklahoma gets the job done. Steven Adams can play with DeMarcus Cousins. People like to think DeMarcus Cousins is a very physical guy.
Mm-hmm.
But Steven Adams is quick, and he's also very physical. He's not going to get bullied down low, and Steven Adams has the quickness to follow Cousins around the court and keep him on defensive his toes when he's behind the perimeter, which is a lot of centers kind of lack. Like Dwight Howard cannot keep up with Cousins if he's running out to take threes.
Right.
So I think he give him fits. I think Paul George has the ability to light it up. It's going to be interesting as to what happens if I'm Steve Kerr for the first game of the season. I'm gonna make Oklahoma City show me and the rest of the West what their depth actually is, and I'm gonna put Klay Thompson on Russell Westbrook, and I'm gonna leave Kevin Durant on Paul George. I'm gonna have Steph guard there too.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, if you can hold Westbrook and George to under 40 points, where's the rest of where the points coming from?
Right.
Because Cousins on the reverse side of it is no slouch on defense, physical rim protector, and Steven Adams is not a 25-point offensive threat every night. So it'd be interesting, but I think Oklahoma's going to come out with a lot of firepower. I think that Oklahoma is ready to roll, and I would not be surprised if they played spoiler to the Warriors.
Yeah. I think that's intriguing too, and it'll be interesting. Not to say that Carmelo was a detriment to the team, but I think their own team is almost better without. If that makes any sense.
Carmelo didn't fit that team.
Right, I guess that's what I'm trying to...
Yeah, Carmelo, that's not the team that Carmelo needed to be on. Carmelo worked so well on the Knicks even in the older age because there was nobody else, and he doesn't need to have a nobody else type of mentality. But Russell Westbrook's not a pass-first guy. He's not that he's a score-first guy. He's just a well-rounded guy. I mean, average triple-double 2 seasons in a row, that obviously showcases that. But, like, Paul George is a more like work the defense with the ball in his hands kind of guy, like Westbrook. Westbrook is just better at finding the open guy when it kind of breaks down or something like that. Whereas in Houston, it's going to be more Chris Paul's the floor general, Harden's the first option, and Melo kind of has a little bit more of ability to play a shoot and catch kind of role.
Right. Carmelo, get open. We pass it to you shooting.
And Melo is still one of the best one-on-one players in the NBA, in my opinion. If he gets the ball in an ISO situation and he's got the ability to back somebody down into the wing, I'm still gonna be perfectly fine with letting Melo take that shot. The little fadeaway or whatever, the step back. Melo has a very good longer mid-range game, and he's still a very good one-on-one player. It's just going to be interesting to see how things go. Because Chris Paul is the best case for that because he's a floor general who's trying to find the open man. Whereas Russell Westbrook, kind of has, I like to attest, and not because they have similar facial structures, but I like to attest him a lot to the Cam Newton. And It's just that Cam Newton is one of those players where he's looking for the play, but if he gets that little glimpse of window, he knows he's got the body to rush down and pick up 5 or 6 yards on the ground, and he's going to do that. Westbrook's the same type of thing. Westbrook, once he puts his eyes up the court and he sees that little hole in the defense that he can use his extreme power and athleticism to get through to the rim, he does it, and everything else becomes gray. Right. That's not Chris Paul's game. So I think Melo will benefit more from playing with Chris Paul than he did from Westbrook. It was kind of how Melo played with Chauncey when he was in Denver. Chauncey was kind of a similar thing. Chauncey's a little bit better of a three-point shooter than Paul, but Chauncey was not a expose the defense with my speed and power kind of guy. He was a floor general.
Yeah.
He brought the ball up and he looked for the best situation. Chris Paul and just like Chauncey Billups, like Jason Kidd, they were one of those people. They're those types of point guards where it's this pass, whether it becomes a second pass or a shot, is going to be the best chance for this team to score points on this possession.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It'll be interesting. I think we're either going to see Melo have a really, really big bounce back year, or it's just going to be the same Melo we saw in OKC. Yeah. I don't think there's going to be a gray area in between, really. Yeah.
But a lot of great storylines moving forward. I think better than last year. I think more stuff is interesting, and I think we're off to on Tuesday. That is, we're going to be off to a good start to the season. I'm excited for it.
Well, and on top of it too, it's always kind of interesting when you're going into a season with drama like we have with Jimmy Butler.
Right.
That at any given moment we could see Jimmy Butler shipped off to a team.
Yeah.
And once the season gets underway, it's going to open up a lot more things too, because you look at a team like you look at last year, game 1 of the season, Hayward goes down with a knee injury.
Right.
All of a sudden, the Celtics become, because Jimmy Butler wants to go where Jimmy Butler wants to go, but the Timberwolves, just like any organization in sports, they're not going to send you where you want to go. They're going to send you where they're going to get the best return. And so, not that the Celtics would be the option, but you look at look at a team like Portland. If Damian Lillard blows his ACL in game 1 and he's out for the season, the Trailblazers are willing to overpay a little bit for Butler now because they want to be able to contend in the West still. There you go.
Yeah, for sure.
So it shapes things up a little bit more. Not to say that that's what the Timberwolves are waiting for. I just think that the Timberwolves haven't gotten the package they're looking for.
Right.
I think the Timberwolves want player return as well as future return. Because the Timberwolves just aren't there yet. They're not. They got a lot of really good young talent, but it's a lot of me players, not team players.
Yeah.
And Jimmy Butler, I thought, was really going to fix that problem because he's not really a me player. He's a hard player, and Jimmy Butler, much like Kawhi Leonard, prides himself on defense more so than his ability to score the ball. But if people aren't pulling their weight,
yeah,
it gets a little frustrating. So I could,
You feel for it.
Yeah. One time, Jimmy Butler, when he was on the Bulls with Thibodeau, there was a preseason game where Thibodeau played Butler all 48 minutes of the preseason game in 2013 or something like that.
Wow. Damn.
That's insane. Imagine playing the whole preseason game. I don't think he was like a starter at that point, but still.
Yeah, I mean, God, the stamina.
40 minutes is hard to play regardless. You think Houston's going to get it done this year?
Do I want them to? But I just think Golden State.
They're your team. Houston's your team. You're not a Knicks fan. You're a Rockets fan.
I'm very conflicted.
No, here's the thing. You've never followed the Knicks.
I did for
No.
like 2 years.
You've never been a Knicks follower. You've known players in the team, but you liked the ridiculous ones more than you ever liked the good ones.
Yeah, but I loved it when Carmelo came over with Stoudemire and Billups. That was fun. I should know if Billups and Stoudemire ever played together. I don't think they did. I think Billups was only there for a year.
But
I don't know.
I think you should be a Houston fan.
Yeah, but then it seems like I'm a front runner.
No, you're not. I would not call you the bandwagon fan because you've always been a huge supporter of Houston.
Right.
Your second favorite NFL team's the Texans.
No. They're out. My second favorite team is the Bills.
Oh, yeah.
I have a lot of NFL teams.
You either love them or you hate them.
Yeah.
Are you indifferent about any team? 49ers?
I kind of like the 49ers. Ish. The teams I really hate are the Patriots and Ravens.
Packers.
And I hate the Packers because the Packers are the Patriots of the NFC. But other than those three teams, everyone else they're okay. You know.
Yeah.
Well, and I like not just because you're here. I like the Bears because the Bears and Steelers have a very similar, not so much now, but they had a very similar, style of football.
Ground and pound.
Yep. Now, air everywhere for Pittsburgh.
Air everywhere. Trubisky's wearing his lucky sleeve again. He wore his sleeve for whatever reason against Tampa Bay, and everybody was like, "You got to wear it. You got to wear it again." I was like, "Don't make it a thing." But here I am. I'm wearing my Jared Allen jersey
for the umpteenth time
because I didn't wear it week 1. I wore it week 2. They won. I wore it week 3. They won. I wore it week 4. They won. I was like, I didn't wear it for the bye week. I'm like,
that's fair. Listen, I have my things too. Real quick, shout out Uncle Bob and Mike Hatfield, both listening.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. Please be sure to chime in on the chat if you guys have anything. Yeah, NBA wise, there's a lot of intrigue, but I think it's an all for naught type of deal. None of the intriguing storylines for me are for teams that are pretty much shoo-ins. There's not really an intriguing story. The intriguing storyline for the Celtics is what is the Celtics team with Gordon Hayward?
Right.
But they're still going to be good regardless.
Right.
It doesn't matter. They were still a top team without him. So they're going to be a top team with him. Not necessarily a 1 seed. Sixers can surprise people. But the Sixers, what is the improvement from Ben Simmons and Fultz? What are they going to do having tasted success? How are they going to be as a more mature team now? But it's not going to change where they're going to finish. They're not, the Sixers, they're not going to be a team that's going to finish as the 7th seed in the East.
It's at this point, it's now we expect this.
Right, Toronto, the intriguing thing is how is Kawhi Leonard going to play with Toronto? How is he going to play with Lowry and the rest of that team and coming off of not playing basketball for a year? But Kawhi Leonard's still going to be good.
Right.
He may not be the first 10, 20 games of the season, the Kawhi Leonard we saw in San Antonio, but he's still going to be good. He's still going to be NBA all-first team potential. So, it's the same thing with the Lakers. The Lakers, they're going to make the playoffs. LeBron makes any team that good. They're going to make the playoffs. The Warriors are going to be a top team. The Rockets are going to be a top. How's Melo going to fit in? They're still going to be a top team.
Yeah.
They didn't get worse by adding Melo.
Yeah. And anyone who
and Mike D'Antoni is not going to be afraid to bench his ass.
Yeah.
The Warriors, 5 All-Stars starting lineup. How are they going to fare with all the egos on the team and blah, blah? They're going to still win. They're going to do great. So for me, the intriguing storylines are more so for teams that have the surprise potential, but probably are not going to make a splash when June comes around.
Right.
How is Donovan Mitchell going to play in his second year? That's an intriguing storyline for me. How is Jason Tatum going to fare now that he has potential bench qualities? He might be a bench guy going at some point in the season. How are the Bucks going to do without Jabari Parker? How is Jabari Parker going to do with the Bulls? Is he going to play defense? Are the Bulls going to be a surprising team? Are they going to finish a 4 or 5 seed? Are they going to be able to win games without Markkanen? Those are intriguing storylines.
Yeah.
But
we got Carl saying Lakers going to be NBA champs. And I'm going to root for that. I think there's, we talked, LeBron on your team.
I'll say it now. And, I wish Jeff and Kyle and Mock and stuff like that. If LeBron James and the Lakers win the NBA Finals this year, LeBron James is better than Michael Jordan. And I'm not going to have the debate now. You guys can chime in on the chat if you want. We'd love to hear your comments. We can briefly talk about them. I don't want to get into the LeBron James Michael Jordan debate. It's a debate for fans. It's not a debate for the sport. It is two different eras of basketball. They're two different types of players. My whole big argument on the subject is just, what would Michael Jordan have been like with LeBron James's build, and what would LeBron James be like with Michael Jordan's build? I'm not saying that LeBron would be worse and Jordan would be better. Just they're two different types of players. Yeah. But in terms of overall success and accomplishments, if LeBron James wins the championship with the Lakers this year in the West, he's the GOAT.
Yeah, that'd be really cool too for as a fan, standpoint. You go 3 teams and you go to the finals and win. I mean, I guess it doesn't matter if he wins or not, but to go.
And I think if he goes this year, I think it's a decade straight of LeBron in the finals.
That's crazy.
I think it's a decade straight. Because he went because he went to the finals his last year with the Cavs.
Yep.
And they lost
to the Mavericks?
To San Antonio. Was it San Antonio?
I think so.
Then he went to the Heat, lost to the Mavericks.
That's right.
Then he beat the Thunder. Then he beat the Spurs. Then he lost to the Spurs. Then he
went
back to Cleveland, lost to the Warriors,
beat the Warriors, lose to the Warriors. Is that right? The time goes by,
He lost. Did he lose to the Warriors twice, then beat the Warriors, then lost to the Warriors?
No, I thought it was... It's been, 3 years in Cleveland now? Or was 3 years in Cleveland?
Was it 3?
I thought it was loss, win, lose.
Yeah, it might be.
Yeah. Carl saying 10 straight finals. Peter saying Jordan did it with one team, period. hating on LeBron.
My thing is just, and shout out to Peter, thanks for tuning in. Also, shout out to the Mass. Happy birthday, Chris Massey.
Yes. Here.
Big 2-6.
Golf clap for Mass.
But yeah, I don't know. Because the thing is like, whether he does it with one team, whether he did it with one team or 5 teams, you never did it alone. I mean, that's the thing is, like, last year, LeBron didn't have Kyrie, Kevin Love didn't play outstanding in the finals, and the support was terrible, and LeBron lost. Against the Utah Jazz, if Michael Jordan went to the finals, if Pippen didn't play, and they lost Dennis Rodman, Michael Jordan would probably lose to the Jazz. Nobody's that good. There's no NBA player in NBA history that's good enough to win a game by yourself, a 7-game series by yourself against the next best team. It's just not possible.
Well, it's the point you're making is a 7-game series. Like,
yeah, one game you can take over a game, pull the tide in your way. But 7 games, and it's a 7-game series. It's just not possible. Nobody's doing it by themselves. End of story.
I can agree with that. It's hard. Think about it. At some point you're playing back to back.
And I'll say it against the anti-Jordan thing, because I've always been pro-Jordan on the Jordan-LeBron debate. I have been. No bias on it. That's my opinion. But one thing that would really kind of silence this debate a little more would be, we never got the chance to see Jordan in the finals without Pippen. Would he have gotten it done without Pippen?
Right.
Would he have? That's the question. And Jordan did hit every game-winning shot in those finals. Jordan was not the sole reason they won every finals games that he was in. So it's just nobody's doing it by themselves. Nobody in the world is going to do it by themselves. It's just not possible. Yeah.
Well, we're excited. We'll see what LeBron and the Lakers do.
Definitely. Yeah. Just got the update. Brock Osweiler is starting for the Dolphins.
Whoa.
Ryan Tannehill has been scratched. Shoulder injury.
Brock Magic.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting. We're going to lose. The Bears are going to lose. He's 2-0 against the Bears. He's got 6 wins on his career, 2 of them against Chicago.
You can't stop the Brock mania.
Yeah. Quick, pick him up. Pick him up in fantasy.
Start him.
Touchdown City, bitch. Brock. Okay. There's a bad joke.
Brock Lesnar.
Yes. Okay, back to the football and all that stuff. So, I want to talk NHL, but we're going to save it for next week. I want to get I want to get a little more stuff under our belt, and we're not going to lie to the listeners. Outside of me, it's a little shaky. We get some homework in. And we're going to have a more full cast next week. It's going to be hard for you and me going back and forth and just hockey.
Fair.
But and also we're up against the break. We got about 8 minutes before we go to break. And you had some fantasy questions, so I want to get into those because then we got to do our top 10 rankings and pick'ems next hour.
Yes. So we talked about this, you and I, but I just wanted to bring it to the show. So I'm in a tough spot. I've had a very bad year. Didn't draft so great, but I just feel
you should trade me Golden Tate.
I might.
I will give you nothing.
But, and I still believe there's a lot of luck in fantasy. Yes, you got to be logical, but I think there's a lot of luck. Souls disagrees with this, that there's no luck involved, and you got to be, a slave to fantasy. I disagree with that. But regardless, I don't think my team's that good. I was not happy with my draft. But we were discussing Yeldon or Cohen.
Well, and the thing was, and the reason this discussion happens is you got to give them all the details, is you played Sterling Shepard.
Yep. Thinking that, Philadelphia's been rough.
And the mistake you made in playing Sterling Shepard was that he was in your flex, or he was in your wide receiver spot, not your flex.
Right.
Which meant Cooper Kupp is in your flex.
Right.
So
Cooper Kupp.
So shout out to the mass. But because of that, you now have to choose because you got David Johnson. Who are the Cardinals playing this week?
Cardinals are playing
Minnesota,
which is
so
good defense.
I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to throw you out on a limb here. I say you bench David Johnson and you start Yeldon and you start Cohen. You have nothing to lose. You're 0-5.
That's right.
You're only not in last because of point differential.
And I love it.
I think you play Cohen and you play Yeldon and you sit David Johnson. He hasn't done anything for you yet this season, and he's going up against a stout defense that looks like they might have found their stride a little bit. And the one aspect of that defense that hasn't been the same since last year is their pass defense. The run defense has still been solid.
Now, what are your feelings, though, as Johnson kind of being like that dual threat receiving
You're
back?
playing, but the two guys that you're playing are also dual back threats.
Right.
And Yeldon is the option in Jacksonville, who's going up against
Jacksonville
Dallas.
is playing Dallas, yeah.
Who also has a good run defense. So that's to be taken away. But check down options, Bortles down the field might not be the greatest. I think the Bears are really going to try to run the football against the Dolphins. And I think that that's going to bode really well for Jordan Howard because he's more physical back. But I think that that's going to, if they find early success in running, they're going to try to set up for play actions, and Cohen's going to be the guy in there for that.
I know, that's my big thing. I worry that Cohen is going to find his stride, like, during this period of time. Coming off a hot game, they're rested up.
If I were in your shoes, I play both. I bench Johnson. It's probably the wrong decision. If Kyle was here, he'd probably rip on me for it. I'd love to hear what Carl has to say.
That's the problem I'm facing, because I do agree that the Cowboys are no slouch on defense. Minnesota is Minnesota, but it's like, it's the type of deal. Now, I didn't draft David Johnson.
The other thing, too, is Minnesota has the potential to go out to a big lead, but not a blowout lead, which is going to cause them to throw the football. And I don't know that they're going to be looking at check down routes. It's tough. It's really rough. If I really had to pick, if you want to start David Johnson, I say you go Cohen. I think Cohen has more big rip-off potentials. I think he's got more short yardage into big gain potentials. I think Cohen has more potential than Jordan Howard to get the touchdowns this week. The run defense for Miami is not good. And I think the Bears, Osweiler, knowing what we know about Osweiler, knowing what we know about Miami's 30th or whatever ranked offense, and the Bears' such a top-notch defense with a shaky offensive line for the Dolphins and an amazing pass rush for the Bears. And pass rush is one of those defensive things that travels really well. Defensive callings, things like that don't travel well. But pass rush calls well. Because the good pass rushers, Akeem Hicks, Leonard Floyd, Khalil Mack, those guys line up and they know what their job is. It's to hit the guy that's got the football.
Right.
That doesn't change.
So real quick, shout out Dave Sanderson. Morning. Hello, he's listening. Carl is playing Cohen, and I think he agrees with you. I think Cohen, he's going to have... Carl, you saying play Cohen and Yeldon? I mean,
Cohen and Johnson or Cohen and Yeldon?
And Peter Ruka, Cowboys, do drink Modelo. Es especial. Muchos buenos Modelo.
Please stop.
Peter, I owe you... Peter, I left my beer on the counter. I owe you a couple Miller 64s.
Oh. So you got Johnson. He says Johnson's been no good. So
I'd say Yeldon and Cohen. I'd say you take a shot. I think it's your best chance to get your first win of the season.
You're right. I'm 0-5.
What do you got to lose?
No, I'm not. Yeah. So I'm gonna go do that when we hit break. But that's been killing me because though I've been having a terrible year, I've not been in the situation where it's like, oh crap, I should have played this guy because my bench has been injured and awful. So I've never been in a situation like, oh, I should have played this guy. With the exception of, I played...
Well, and you have the benefit, too, of only having one more week of potentially having this issue because Bell looks like he'll be suiting up week 8.
Right, and
And I know James Conner's been good, but the Steelers are not in a position to say, fuck you to Bell.
Right. And
even if they win this week.
And like I was telling you, I just want the opportunity to have the dream of 2 years ago, having Bell and Johnson. I mean, it would have been unstoppable 2 years ago.
The problem is when that was a legitimate threat, you had Carson Palmer, an established quarterback who could throw the football down the field under center, and you had Larry Fitzgerald, who was his favorite target, and then Brown was catching the football. They had Jermaine Gresham, who, I mean, not saying that these guys are studs. Well, Fitzgerald is, but not saying that the other guys are studs, but they were chain movers. They could catch the football,
right.
They could get down the field, they could run routes. So Palmer had options which opened David Johnson up. Right now, the Cardinals don't have options. So realistically, your game plan against their offense is to go in and stop David Johnson.
Yeah, that's a good point.
In theory, if you went in and you play, I'm trying to think of a linebacker, like a Ryan Shazier type of linebacker, someone that can hit the gap. I know he's not playing, obviously, but someone who can hit the gaps on a run stop and someone who's got speed to run to the outside in the pass option, you could theoretically just say, hey, like a Luke Kuechly or like a Danny Trevathan. You go out there and say, you're playing man coverage on Johnson all game. Whatever scheme we call up, it doesn't apply to you. You are guarding Johnson. And theoretically, you could pretty much shut out Arizona by doing that if you have a good enough linebacker.
And Arizona has been shut out this year?
Yeah.
Already?
I think they were shut out once, yep. They were shut out once, and then they put up 14 points in the first quarter against the Bears, and then had 3 scoreless. They don't have the offense. They don't have any firepower.
Yeah. I'm convinced if Johnson goes off, whatever, I have nothing to lose. Like you said, I'm 0-5. What's 0-6?
Exactly.
Right. As long as I have more points than Tyler. Screw you, Tyler. Who wouldn't trade with me.
All right, so we're going to go to break. We got to do the Riddler's rankings. When we come back, it's going to be the That's So Rank Top 10 Power Rankings. We got some changes from last week.
Yeah.
And score predictions.
Stay with us. It's a real quick break. So don't go anywhere.
And now, back to Getting Sports with Drunk on the PPRN Radio Network.
Welcome back to Getting Sports with Drunk. I'm still here with the Red Baron, the hostess Cupcake, and Rita.
Hi.
So we're back. NFL Hour, Power Hour, Top 10 Riddler's rankings, Top 10 Power rankings. That's So Rank Power rankings.
Now that's rank.
We gotta get you like a soundbite.
I know. We should get we'll have to get Peter involved too. Like a hotkey button. Just
definitely gotta get that on there.
Yeah, the radio horn.
Yeah. So we'll start off with the power rankings. If you listened last week, we did a full 32 team power rankings. We're obviously not gonna do that every week. We can discuss a little bit the power rankings. We're not going to go as in depth because I kind of gave the basis of all of them, the offensive and defensive ranks and all that stuff.
And I think that the top 10 is what's important.
Right, exactly. The top 10, those are your playoff teams. As of not necessarily, you know what I mean. Like it doesn't mean they're in the playoffs
week to week,
now, but,
week to week.
Right. So I'm going to go ahead and start. So at number 10, I have the LA Chargers. Finally getting the crack in the top 10. They're 3-2. They played well last week.
Forced a couple turnovers.
Mm-hmm. They're on the rise. I think they're at 3 in a row now, right? I think they went 0-2 to start the season. They lost to the Chiefs, and then they lost to. I don't remember who else they lost to. I think they're 3 in a row though now.
Yeah.
They're on the rise. Phillip Rivers is finding the stride. I think it's going to be good. A good season for them. I don't know if playoffs is in the hopes. At number 9, normally if I were to do a power rankings, I don't like to move teams that were on a bye, but in this case I did. Sorry, not yet. My bad. Wrong rankings. At number 9, I have the Jacksonville Jaguars. I had them drop a lot.
Team's kind of stagnant, honestly.
Yeah. They did play the Chiefs, an undefeated football team, but Bortles went out and just duck-egged it, played terrible. Defense forced turnovers, but got exposed. They're just... I still think they're the best team in the AFC South, but they are just... I don't know. They just don't look like the Jacksonville Jaguars team I thought they would look like this in the season. And I'm not saying Bortles is the reason, because I didn't expect a lot from Bortles. But...
Well, listen, they talked... that corner there, I can't think of his name.
Ramsey.
Talked a lot of shit.
Yeah.
And,
I think a lot of it has to do with the missing pieces of Fournette.
Yeah.
It's a big piece for them. But I'm just not sold on Jacksonville. They fall down to 9 for me. I think they're a good team. I think that they're very easily going to crack back in the top 5 maybe after this week, showing with Dallas. Who knows?
I think we agree that division is kind of theirs. I mean, Houston could possibly make a splash.
Houston could make a splash. Tennessee keeps winning close games. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter how you win games. All that matters is results. But I had them spiral. I don't remember I had them last week. I think I had them at 3.
They were up there.
Yeah. But they spiraled down for me. Number 8 for me is the Minnesota Vikings. They had a pretty impressive win last week.
Going into Philly.
Yeah. Going into Philly. Kirk Cousins had that big pump-up speech beforehand, doing Kirk Cousins things.
Yep,
But it's looking like the offense is keeping stride, and the defense is starting to find their identity a little bit, which makes poise for a very impressive NFC North bout down the roads. So that'll be very interesting. Number 7, this is where I had the bye switch around. I had the Bears go from 6 to 7. Now, they didn't do anything bad to go down a rank, but it's just that with teams jumping up and jumping down and whatnot, I just felt that there was other teams that deserved that spot. I still think that they're a very good football team. 3-1, still have, in my opinion, the best front 7 in defense. I don't think anybody this season is going to be able to run on them. I don't think anybody's going to be able to feel comfortable in the pocket against them. And that's really all I got to say, because they didn't play last week. Number 7 for me is number 6 for me is the Cincinnati Bengals. Joe Mixon went out and didn't miss a beat. Had his injury, came out, played hot. Bengals continued to play hot. Handed the Dolphins their second loss in a row. Had a come-from-behind victory. And their defense was absurd. It was absurd. 2 defensive touchdowns in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Pretty impressive. Number 5 for me is the Carolina Panthers, which I think is where I had them ranked last week. No, I think they jumped up. I got
multiple sheets here.
I got to write these down. I forgot my laptop, which is the problem. But the Carolina Panthers, I mean, they went out and they played a hard, gritty football game against the Giants. Graham Gano was able to pull it out, 63-yarder, tying the longest game-winning field goal, I think, in NFL history.
Yeah.
But they went out, they looked good, they played well on defense. Any mistake the offense made, they made the Giants' offense make the same mistake. And they just played a really gritty, hard football game, and they look like they're ready to compete in that division against some high-powered offenses. Number 4, jump up. New England.
Yeah, it's inevitable. You win big, don't commit mistakes.
Yeah.
You're going to jump.
They jumped up, even though when I did the power rankings, they had played their Thursday night game, so they haven't played a game yet.
Right.
But just with the moves up and down, the Patriots are just looking like Patriots again. They got Julian Edelman back. Gronk's healthy. And
Gordon's going to become the greatest receiver in NFL history.
I think there's a lot of potential that we're going to see New England, if they can beat Kansas City, at the 2 spot next week.
Yeah.
The Kansas City's defense is not that great, and with Edelman back, there's a lot of passing options for Brady and company. Number 3, welcome to the top 3 New Orleans Saints.
Hey, NOLA.
And the reason they jumped up as high as it did for me was obviously the offense put up points, Drew Brees doing immaculate things, breaking records, but the defense played well. The defense, granted, the Redskins are not a high-powered offense, but they played well. They held them. They limited them to points, a few amount of points, and they played well all around defensively. Not spectacular, but not bad. But that's a big improvement from where they have been playing. Number 2 is still the Kansas City Chiefs. They went in and they beat the Jacksonville Jaguars. I had them poised to potentially climb up the ranking, beating such a good defense, but they committed some turnovers. Mahomes threw his first pick.
Yep.
The defense played better. They still put up a lot of points, but at the end of the day, the Rams are still number 1 because the Rams showed that, they can go up against a team in a nit-grit situation and get it done.
Yeah.
And Pete Carroll said that he was going to run the ball 30 times, and he did. And they were in that game with the Rams all the way through. And it took a Goff QB sneak or not QB sneak, but a Goff rush
right, yeah.
on a 4th down, right?
Yep.
To seal the victory for them. But the Rams just keep showcasing that they're lights out on all aspects of the football. All 3 phases of the game, they're playing well.
Well, yeah, and I like that rankings. No, that's rank. I like that, and it's no question. If you're undefeated, you're going to find yourself in the top positions, and I think at this point, I find the Rams to be kind of more complete than Kansas City. Call it what you want, and the defense in Kansas City has not been super sharp, but they've played well enough. Tonight is the big test. This is New England is not going to. Traditionally, he's not going to lay an egg.
Mm-hmm.
So this will kind of, if Kansas City finds a way to win, perhaps next week, maybe we find them in the number 1 spot. But Rams, they keep on rolling.
Mm-hmm. And that brings us into the games for this week.
Dun, 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 dun. ESPN. Oh, God, private suck. If we ever bring it back, it's going to be rough.
Isn't it we had to pay our dues on it, too?
Yeah.
Everyone just gets a mag. All right. So
can I make predictions?
Oh, absolutely not. Yes, you can.
1 o'clock game. First game up. The 2-2 Tampa Bay Buccaneers on the road against the 1-4 Atlanta Falcons.
You want to take it or you want me to take it? How do you want to do it?
We'll switch back and forth.
Okay. Right.
So when you go first, read in the middle, I'll finish up, and then we'll snake it.
All right. I like it. This is what I'm seeing. Tampa Bay jumped out big. Fitzmagic, blah, blah, blah. The magic appears to be gone.
Yep. Well, he is gone. He's on the bench now.
But I mean, the overflow magic where the team was clicking, that seems to be gone. Atlanta is in a rough spot. Very much kind of like the Pittsburgh of the NFC. The defense not playing very well. Julio Jones kind of been absent. He's getting targets. He's getting yards, but absent in the end zone, kind of much like last year. But I think Atlanta has Tampa Bay's number today. For the reason only being Jameis Winston, his first this is his start. He played last.
Yeah, he played the second half.
Yeah, but this is his first start. I think it will kind of be rusty, if you will. And I think Atlanta wins today. Very close. 23-17.
I think Atlanta wins, but I think it's 32-28.
32. Taking a
There's
page out of my book.
safety.
What does it have to be a safety? You can add it to that.
You know how many extra points get missed? Kickers have been atrocious this year.
Oh, big time.
I got the same mindset. I think Atlanta has their number for this game. I just don't. I think the Bucks are on a downward spiral. But with that being said, though, very high scoring affair.
Yeah. Shootout.
Two of the 5 worst pass defenses in football.
Yeah, very true.
And Winston can sling the ball. He's got options, and Evans, Simpson,
Deceen Jackson.
Yeah, Deceen Jackson, OJ Simpson, OJ Howard.
Simpson comes out of retirement.
I expect to see a lot from these receivers. I expect to see big days from all of the receivers. To be honest with you, if you have any Bucks or Falcons, I'm starting them.
Except
but
OJ Howard, that bum.
Huh?
Except OJ Howard, that bum.
But I think the Falcons. I do think they pull it out. I think they win 38-35.
Be a good game.
Would be a good game. All right. Panthers Redskins. 3-1 Panthers visiting the 2-2 Redskins. So the Redskins have not been bad on defense. I'd like that to be noted. I think a lot of people just assume they have, but they haven't. They've been pretty good on defense. Offensively, Alex Smith's taking care of the football. Adrian Peterson's going to be a go. They're missing, unfortunately, on the offensive side of the football, Doxson being injured. I'm not 100% sure on what Paul Richardson's availability is.
Thompson got hurt, right? Is he good to go?
Yeah,
I think he's good to go, but
yeah,
I think
so too. But it's just a mediocrity of weapons. It's not anybody that
Nobody's
that's
special.
the guy, and they don't have the quarterback that you say that's the guy. So it's like it's hard to pick the Redskins. I think the Redskins make it close. I think the Panthers' defense is better than they were to start the season. I don't think they're there yet. But Cam Newton's going to find ways to make plays. Christian McCaffrey is really their only threat. But I think the big factor is, even though it's going to be a very limited snap count, Greg Olson's suiting up this week.
Really?
Yeah.
They gave him the go.
I think they're going to give him some very, very limited snaps because it's already been noted, I'm pretty sure in the injury report, that he's going to be receiving a foot surgery at the end of the season. So I think they're going to really nurse it back.
In his foot and
I think they're going to nurse it back until they in a game where they need him. But I think he still makes a difference. I think he makes a couple big catches.
Mm-hmm.
I can't see the Redskins pulling it out. I just think they have the firepower. But I don't think it's by any means a shootout. I don't think it's a high contested score game. I think the Panthers pull it out. Call it 24-17.
I'm going to go opposite because I know nothing.
that's
So
not
I'm
true.
going to say
You know,
Redskins.
almost nothing.
Redskins win. I was going to say 21-17.
Okay.
I agree, Riddler, a lot with what you said. I just kind of anticipate Washington kind of going through a skid right now for no reason. I think maybe New Orleans was kind of the thing that kind of derailed whatever momentum they had, and they'll kind of skid for a game or two. And I think the Panthers is not the game you want to follow up after going against the Saints. 27-17, Carolina.
Okay. All right. Next up, the 2-3 Seattle Seahawks visiting the 1-4 Raiders.
Yeah, this game has the potential to be nothing special whatsoever.
You know what's really weird? That it's a 1:00 game.
Yeah, that is weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, those fans got to get there early today. Beer sales early. They're doing what we're doing.
It's weird that that's a 1:00 game, but we'll get to it. But Baltimore and Tennessee is a 4:30 game.
Yeah.
I feel like those.
Yeah. Every so often though, they'll have because it's 3 hours behind us out in.
Yeah.
So it's the fans are getting to the stadium.
10 a.m.
Yeah. That's crazy. I'd actually like to experience that in person.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
It would be just like what we do.
Right,
Drinking
exactly.
at 10 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah, except we at a football stadium.
Yeah, and probably angry.
Raiders got to win. Gruden gave that speech like I thought he would, and they found it within themselves to get it together. I think that was kind of Gruden said the right things, and they did the right things to back it up. Seattle, they're not playing angry. Seattle's playing Seattle football, which Pete Carroll style. He coaches well enough to win. I'm not saying he's a great coach. I'm not saying he's a bad coach. He's He plays Pete Carroll football. He sticks to his guns, so I respect him for it. I have Seattle winning. Like I said, I don't think this game's gonna be. I could be wrong. I think this game's gonna be nothing special. I think it's gonna be weird. We'll call it 1917.
Ew.
Seattle. Yeah, and not even like a kicker's duel. It's just like you said, like missed extra points.
Oh man,
This is gonna be ugly. I feel.
I think it's going to be a very low-scoring game, but I secretly want John Gruden to win just one game.
He already did.
He did last week.
Okay, so maybe just 2 games. But I think it's going to be 14-6.
God, what a really low scores.
No extra point.
I think this is Lynch's first time
Going
in
back.
Seattle.
Yeah.
Well, they're home.
Well, I guess what I meant, like facing off.
Yeah, Raiders are home. Yeah, but I think it's their first time facing off. See, I don't think it's going to be anything special either, but I think Seattle runs away with it.
Yeah.
I think Seattle wins 28-17. I just think that I don't think Oakland's defense is anything special at all. I think that Pete Carroll's going to continually run the ball like he's been doing, and they've been finding success doing it. And I think that they're going to be able to rip up Oakland's defense, and I think that Russell Wilson's going to be able to have his way with the secondary. And I think that Derek Carr has shown this season that he's not careful with the football, and even if Seattle's defense isn't a top 10 defense anymore, they're getting turnovers.
Yeah. I mean, for our sake, I hope we're wrong. It's like a shootout, but I don't know. I don't see it going that way.
All right, next, we got the 3-1 Chicago Bears visiting the 3-2 Miami Dolphins. Two teams moving in very opposite directions. Like I said, we just got the update that Brock Osweiler is going to be starting for the Dolphins. There is intrigue in it because Adam Gase, he was the guy that, even if it wasn't a lot of greatness, brought the best out of Cutler that Chicago was able to get. And I think that he has the ability to make any quarterback better. Weapons-wise, they do have some weapons, but they have not had any success in running the football. The Dolphins, I mean. And defensively, they have not had any success stopping the run. But they have been picking quarterbacks off. Which I think is going to be, it's very intriguing because I think fans want to see Trubisky throw the ball. They want to see if he can continue to do it. But real fans and NFL analysis and coaches and anybody who's ever played the game run the football. Pass when you have to. I think the Bears are going to know that. I think Nagy's a smart guy. I think he's going to be able to involve some trickery into this offense to give Trubisky open receivers like he did against Tampa Bay. It's hard because the Bears are a team that are still finding their identity offensively and have the ability to implode offensively. So it's hard, but on paper, this should be a runaway game for me for the Bears. I think with the shaky offensive line, Brock Osweiler playing the way he does and not having the best weapons in the world around him, I think the Bears defense is going to be able to go in and do things, mean things to that offense, especially on the offensive line side of the ball. I think the Bears are going to be able to run away with this one. I think the Bears are going to win 35-10. I just don't think the offensive of Miami's going to get it clicking. They're not good offensively. They're not ranked. They don't run the ball well. They're not great at throwing it. And they're not good at stopping the run. And the Bears have two good running backs. They've got a mobile quarterback. And they've got probably the just meanest looking defensive front in football right now. Rita?
I think the Bears win. I think it's going to be close, and I think it's going to be high scoring.
Oh, God, I hope not.
You got a score?
I think it's going to be 35-33.
Ugh.
Another safety.
Oh, my God. If we give up 33 points to the fucking Dolphins.
Yeah, that's rough. Brock Osweiler, I'm a big fan, but for all the wrong reasons, of course. What's the biggest criticism of Brock Osweiler throwing the football?
Those are too hard.
Throws
no
are
touch.
too hard. Now,
Which, to be said, maybe he can fix it. I doubt it, but maybe he can. Because that was what Elway's problem was, wasn't it? Was it Elway?
yeah, actually, a lot of quarterbaks have had that problem.
But wasn't that like Elway's big thing that he had no touch? He just threw the ball. He just rifled it. Yeah.
So
he broke some guy's fingers.
This will anticipate Osweiler. I'm sure. I'm not sure if he got first team reps during practice this week.
I think he did.
He did?
I think Tannehill officially became questionable on Thursday.
Yeah. So let's say he got a full week of practice in, or half week of practice, getting first team reps.
Yeah.
You're going up against a very hot Chicago team right now.
And Osweiler's not mobile
No.
either.
No.
He's very big.
Kind of clunky.
Yeah.
You're going to throw the ball like he does. I think we're going to see a lot of tip balls. Bears really good at creating turnovers and finding the ball in the right spot. I think Brock Osweiler throws 3 picks today. 3 picks today. You count them. 3 interceptions today. Bears roll on. I think what everyone's saying, I agree with the sentiment. I think Bears run all over Miami. Trubisky is careful with the football. Bears, once again, they put up like a high 30 spot. I'm going to say 38, Dolphins 14.
Wow. I like that. Fuck you, Rebecca.
Sorry.
33 points to the Dolphins. God, they're going to do it now. The 1-4 Colts visiting the 2-3 New York Jets.
Whatever. So the Colts have proven to be not very exciting so far. That can change. Jets have shown actually more promise than what we expected. They've had their growing pains. They get a rookie quarterback.
You know that last week was the first time in Super Bowl era that 4 rookie quarterbacks have gotten victories?
I thought that was pretty cool. I didn't know that. I just figured that it had to have happened. I kind of anticipate this being very, very close.
Let's hope that Rosen does another one. Let's hope Rosen wins again. Fingers crossed. And I hope Beathard just has a day.
I kind of seeing this game being close, not high scoring per se, but definitely mid 20s. Both defenses are, they're giving up points. I don't know where they stand. But I think they both are giving a lot of yards. I think that's kind of been their biggest issue.
The Jets are better defensively.
But I think the Colts have kind of been run and passed all over.
Yeah. This game's really going to come down to Darnold.
Yeah, I just think I have actually.
Which Darnold are we going to see? Are we going to see week 1 and week 5 Darnold, or are we going to see weeks 2 through 4 Darnold?
I have luck.
And I'm not taking anything away from Darnold. He's a rookie. There's pains. There's growing pains. He's not supposed to be elite. But
yeah,
which Darnold are we going to see?
Right, and I have some magic coming from luck, kind of being a luck of old today. I'm going to see, we'll call it a 24-20 victory for the Colts today.
Rita?
I also agree that the Colts are going to win, but I think they're going to win with a gap. I think they're going to win 28.
What's a gap? Like
Yeah.
the store?
They're going to win with a gap.
Yeah. They're going to win by a
bring a
lot.
receipt?
28-9.
All right.
That's what I meant.
Now, can I guess? Are the Jets going to score a touchdown with an extra point and a safety?
No safety. It'll simply be 3 field goals.
Oh, okay. Good. They're not going to like to use their 1 4-point field goal a week.
Right.
I don't know. This one's tough. This one is tough. 17-15 Colts.
Yeah.
Yep.
I could see that as well.
I don't know. 17-15 Colts. I think Luck I think he plays well. I think he has like another game like he had where he throws like against the Patriots. He throws like 400 yards. Just doesn't have any touchdowns to show for it. Maybe like 1 or 2. I think he gets picked off. I think Darnold has a dud game. Maybe throws for 224, touchdown, 2 picks.
Yeah. We'll see. Another, unless you're a fan
The
of the
storyline in this game is I want to see how Crowell bounces back from 200 whatever yards, 230 yards.
This is this 1 o'clock game also, correct?
Yeah.
So
far, we're still 1 o'clock games.
We're getting that game.
Oh, yeah.
We're getting that game for sure. Thanks, New England.
The 1-4 Cardinals visiting the 2-1 Vikings. Ugh. Josh Rosen, hey, led the Cardinals to the first win of the season. They got David Johnson. They got a decent secondary. Got an okay pass rush. That's about it. Vikings got Kirk Cousins. They got Adam Thielen, the only receiver in NFL history, 5 straight games of 100-plus yards. They got Diggs, Murray suiting up. Pretty
Yep.
good defense. Vikings 35. Cardinals 3. I can't see them moving the ball in Minnesota. Just can't see it. But Buffalo moved the ball.
Right. Well, I think that's the fluke of all flukes right there. You know?
I don't know. I don't see it happening. I think Minnesota's starting a hot streak. I think they roll.
I definitely think the Vikings win. They win 41-17.
Well, I agree with
8
what you're...
safeties and an extra point.
Yeah.
No touchdowns.
I agree with what you're saying, and for my fantasy sake, I hope the Vikings really shut down that offense. I tend to think that Arizona, they got their win, they're happy, they're coming off it, and now it's kind of like, here's reality. I think, like you said, the Vikings kind of finding their stride right now. I think that defense kind of smartens up, and the secondary plays well for a game. Kirk has been fairly careful with the football, still kind of the Kirk gunslinger-esque, takes his chances. Vikings win today, 30-10.
The 4-1 Bengals hosting the 2-2-1 Pittsburgh Steelers.
Big
Big game, marquee matchup.
That's right. Pittsburgh coming off a big win in Atlanta, kind of a win they needed. Every win's important, blah, 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 must-win game, blah, blah, blah. Stupid, every game is a must-win game. I think they kind of carry the momentum. I think Cincinnati is at their stride right now. They're playing very well. Dalton not really turning the football over.
No, he has.
Has he?
He's been a little bit better recently, but he threw like 3 picks in one game. He's thrown some picks this season.
Yeah. Well, with that
but AJ Green's having the most productive season of his career so far.
Perhaps I was thinking that with the amount of touchdowns scored, I wasn't thinking.
No, he's throwing some picks.
I think we see a very close game today. I think Pittsburgh wins by...
Pretty sure the Steelers are like 9-1 in their last 10 against the Bengals.
Yeah. I think, even though Boswell's been very shaky, it comes down to a field goal late today. Pittsburgh wins 27-24. Rita? Pay attention.
I am paying attention.
If you want to chime in, you got to be able to pay attention.
No, I've been paying attention. What did you say your score was, though? I don't remember the numbers.
27-24 Pittsburgh.
I definitely think the Steelers win. Also because I'm rooting for them and the Giants were awful this weekend. I think the Steelers win 28-15.
Okay.
Ew. I think Ben and Brown have shaken off the rust. I think the connection's there. They still got Smith-Schuster. I think the dual tight ends they got are very effective in McDonald and gunslinger Jesse James. I think James Conner is still poised to have some good shit happen for him. Like I said, AJ Green's having the most productive season of his career, and he's going up against a Pittsburgh secondary that did play a lot better against Atlanta.
Surprisingly.
But is still not that great.
Right.
I think the key in this game for the Bengals is Joe Mixon. Just like I think the key in the game for the Steelers is James Conner. I think it's going to be... I think this is a running backs... I don't think it's a duel. I just think it's a matter of... I think we're going to see a lot of throwing. So it's a matter of which team has the edge in rushing, I think, is really where the victory comes out. I think the edge goes to the Steelers. And I think the Steelers win 32-28. I think they're the first team to hold the Bengals to under 30 points this season.
All right. Here's hoping.
Fingers crossed. We've also got the 3-2 Chargers going on to take the 2-1 Browns. Baker Mayfield. Hey, you can't hate the Browns, man.
I don't hate the Browns.
You can't hate the Browns.
They're fun.
Yeah, they're already 200% better than last year.
Yeah.
Actually, 205 because they tied.
Yeah, 205% better.
And you want to know what the thing is? They're undefeated at home.
Yeah. God, the beer.
They're 2-0-1 at home.
The Bud Light's been flowing in Cleveland.
They are 2-0-1 at home.
Break the chains.
Here's
baby.
my thing. The Browns fans have been the most loyal fans in sports. Do you know how loud they must be now that they're winning some games? They're winning some games.
They're probably bored of it. Like, why can't we be bad again? It was more fun.
It made the drinking easier. It gave us a reason. Now we're just alcoholics. This is an enticing game. The Browns secondary is much improved defensively altogether. Ward has been really good. He's got like 3 picks this season. They've been very good up front. Baker Mayfield just brings a certain level of energy and tenacity to that offense that has been missing for years. They have a very good chain mover in Landry. The running backs between Hyde and Chubb are both extremely good in a split carry situation. LA's defense has been good but not great. Phillip Rivers is kind of looking a little bit better. I really think it's going to be a battle of the Chargers offense against the Browns defense. I do think the Chargers hand the Browns their first home loss, but I do think it's close. I think the Chargers win 28-24 in OT. No, I'm just kidding. Can't win by 4 in OT.
I like Phillip Rivers. I want the Chargers to win, and I think they will win. And I think they'll win by 10.
Score?
I really like 28. 28-18.
Nice. Math on point right there. So, a couple years back,
It can happen.
the Browns were...
Mock souls, Jeff. Miss you guys.
Hey, I'm trying.
2 years ago, the Browns were on a losing streak. They got their first win versus the Chargers of San Diego.
Mm-hmm.
These are the Chargers of Los Angeles, damn it. And they're still mad about it.
The Chargers the Chargers were the reason we didn't see an 0-32 Browns team.
Yeah, damn them. Chargers roll on today. Browns playing very well. And I think they make it a game. I have the Chargers winning similar fashion to what Rita said, by 10. I'm going to call it 30-20. Chargers win.
All right, and the last of the 1 o'clock games, we have the 2-3 Bills visiting the 2-3 Texans. I don't fucking know. I just don't know. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know. Deshaun Watson hasn't looked great. He's been getting hit every which way. Pretty sure he leads the leagues in quarterback hits, and he's getting hit viciously. Not penalty wise. He's just getting hit because he runs with the football a lot. He's just getting lit up. And the team offensively hasn't looked that great. Defensively, they looked better than they were to start the season. But to me, they just look like an average football team with a plus side. The Bills have been a bad team with a plus side. The Bills have, so far this season, played higher to the plus side. The Texans have played closer to the average side.
Yep.
I think they've won the last 2, right? Because they were 0-3 to start the season.
Yep. Picked it up a little bit.
I don't think the Bills can repeat it. I think that the Bills get a couple more wins this season, doing what they do. But I don't know, man. This is a fucking weird game. I have no idea. I think the Texans win 24-10.
I agree that this is going to be not an interesting...
Have an original thought.
I am.
Just kidding.
It's not that it's not going to be interesting, but that's not the right word. That I think Paul said, or excuse me, the Riddler said, average.
Now they know my name.
Whatever.
Good for the fans, Santa Claus.
Sorry, I ruined everything. I think there's going to be a tie. I think this game ends in a tie.
Score?
14-14.
Oh.
For your sake, I hope it happens. Because I'd like to see 3 ties in a season.
I was really hoping we see a tie every week.
Buffalo doing nothing special. Minnesota was their Super Bowl. You know, that was not a game they deserved to win. They earned it because they beat them. But I mean, like, no one anticipated that happening. I think in Houston, they're on a winning streak, not a hot streak. Defense, like you said, defense has been okay. Offense has been absent. I don't know what the deal is. I figured Deshaun was going to kind of bring a spark, holding on to the ball too long, hurrying throws. Like you can't find a happy medium. And, as a fantasy owner of many Bills players, because I am a sucker for punishment, I know that the Bills don't really like to move the football or have the ability to. I have Houston winning today 27-6. Hauschka. Hauschka. Twin 33-yard field goals.
All right, on to the fours. You got the 5-0 Rams visiting the 2-3 Broncos. Please give me your take.
Yeah, well, I see a Rams team that is playing extremely well. Goff seems comfortable. Gurley playing like the Gurley of, I guess it's 2 years ago now. Or wait a minute, what am I trying to say? When was it last year? Was this a good year? 2 years ago was bad year? Yeah. Playing like Gurley like he's expected to be. Broncos, Case Keenum playing okay. The defense playing much better than the offense. They're in this game just by showing up, but I have Rams winning by a minimum of 2 scores, 2 touchdowns. That is, we'll call it 34-17 Rams.
I'm going to give the Broncos a chance this week, but it's going to be low scoring.
Thought we were an item, but I guess you're seeing other franchises.
What?
Nothing. Stupid. Private stock.
It's going to be 17-14.
Close. Wow.
I think the Rams just destroy the Broncos. I don't think it's going to be close. I think the Denver defense is not good right now. I think they're good. I just don't think they're good right now. I just think there's too many. What are you going to do? You stop Gurley. There's 3 receivers.
Yeah.
So, in the defense, Case Keenum's terrible. The run game has been really good, and the Rams haven't been obliterating the run. But I just think that the Rams are going to run all over the Broncos. I think they're going to win. I don't know. 35-10.
35-10? All right. I like that.
The 3-2 Ravens visiting the 3-2 Titans. This is an intriguing game. This game's going to be a field goal fest.
Yeah.
I don't know. The two teams, I don't know. The Ravens, took a huge dump off the top 10 last week. They were like 4th or 3rd in mine. Then they fucking couldn't score points against the Browns. I mean, not the Browns are bad, but the Ravens were like firing on pretty much all cylinders. The Titans they stay close in games. They win close games. They lose close games. They're not really getting blown out. They're not blowing people out. Their offense isn't great. The defense isn't bad. The secondary's been playing well for Tennessee. Secondary for Baltimore's been playing really well. And I think Baltimore wins. But I think they win 16-9.
Sounds like a field goal fest to me.
Yeah, 1 touchdown for the Ravens, 3 field goals.
I like the Titans, but it's going to be a high-scoring game.
Okay.
Score?
42-35.
Wow.
All touchdowns and extra points.
Good. Good to hear.
Don't
Extra
laugh
points.
at me.
I think Baltimore kind of wakes up from the Cleveland debacle. Nah, I don't mean it like that because Cleveland's played well, but a team like Baltimore, you expect to beat Cleveland. Tennessee, they stay in games. It's odd. They have some sort of something going there. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the Mike Vrabel receiving touchdown Super Bowl syndrome. spreading fast.
Mike Vrabel does a really good job at coaching that Titans team for that week's opponent.
Yeah,
Wonder where he got that from.
Seems to be a very focused guy. Hate him to death, but he
You don't hate him. You hate the defenses that he went up against.
Right. It's stupid. But he seems to be a good coach. He was defensive coordinator for years, or linebackers coach as well. But I have Baltimore winning we'll call it 21-13. It's a very average game.
Yeah.
Baltimore moves the chains. They control the clock.
3-2 Jaguars visiting Peter Pino's 2-3 Cowboys.
Dun, 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 dun.
Cowboys are undefeated at home.
Cowboys have been surprising
Winless
for
on
me.
the road.
Yeah, Cowboys have been very surprising to me. They've won games that I didn't anticipate them winning. Offensively, Dak has not impressed me much, but Elliott has ran the ball well for what he can do. Defensively, they have forced some turnovers. Jacksonville, they're kind of an odd thing, like we talked about earlier. I think Fournette not being there has hurt them. Blake Bortles, you never know what you're going to get.
Yeah.
He's either going to throw for 300 or he'll get you a 215, and this I've picked against the Cowboys a lot this season, and they've gone on to win. It's funny. I feel like I've picked Dallas to lose. So, for the sake of Peter and have them winning, I'm gonna pick against Dallas. Jacksonville wins today. Jacksonville wins, and they win 31-27. We're going to see a couple defensive touchdowns today. At least one each. So.
All right. Well, I think Dallas is going to win. And I think it's going to be 28-21. The end.
The end.
Two teams that can't really move the football that well offensively. Game's going to come down to what Ezekiel Elliott can do against Jacksonville's front seven. Yeldon's been playing well. Bortles hasn't. I think the Cowboys pull it out. I think the Cowboys pull it out 21-17.
All right. I like it.
Yeah, so that's it. There's no more game. No, I'm just kidding. Chiefs Patriots. 5-0 Chiefs going to Foxborough to play the 3-2 Patriots Sunday Night Football. Now here's a guy.
Here's a guy. You or me?
I think it's me. It's a tough one. Chiefs have been playing really good football offensively. They're picking apart teams. They're getting the ball moving through the ground, through the air. Mahomes is playing like a veteran quarterback out there. He's hitting all his weapons. He's using them all really well. Watkins, Hill, Kelsey, Hunt. Patriots, even though Edelman didn't get in the end zone or anything, looked more Patriot-like. That Sonny Michel kid is doing really well, running the football. Got to pray for his future that he doesn't fumble.
Right.
But they've got Gronk, they've got Edelman, and now they've got Gordon. They've got Tom Brady. High scoring, definitely. 38-35, Patriots win. I just don't see... I think New England's defense is, even if it's not the best defense, it's leaps and bounds better than Kansas City's. And I just think that the Chiefs are going up against somebody that knows how to pick apart a defense,
Right.
especially a bad defense. He's played against a lot of bad defenses about 6 times a year.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think the Patriots pull this one out. I think we see the Chiefs get handed their first loss of the season. Sorry, Eric.
I don't want the Patriots to win. In reality, they probably will. But I'm still going to pick the Chiefs. But it's going to be a very close game and low scoring. 21-19. I don't know if that's possible.
Patriots are going to win. Like you said, they got the weapons are back. They can win without the weapons. Tom Brady knows how to do it. Belichick knows how to do it. I think they're upset about the Kansas City coming in week 1 2 years ago or a year ago, whatever it was, and ripping them apart. That defense in Kansas City is nothing special. And I think they get their first loss. Kansas City, that is, gets their first loss. We'll call it 34-20.
All right, and then last but not least, the Monday night game. Got the Garoppolo's 49ers going to Lambeau.
Yeah. Seems like 49ers don't really have a lot of groove right now. Neither does Green Bay, for that matter, but I think they're going to play well enough. This game is going to be... It's going to be slow, I feel. I have Green Bay winning 20-13. Yeah. Hey, can you guys buy me a minute, 30 seconds? I know, 10 minutes in the show, I can't make it. I'm sorry.
Just go in the bottle.
I don't think the 49ers are going to win it. They're
Okay.
bad. Don't laugh at me. They're just bad.
Okay, do you have a score prediction?
I'm going to say 17-3.
All right. 49ers aren't impressive. The defense hasn't been atrocious, but it's not been good. But the same thing can be said for the Packers defense. I do think Beathard and the run game find some success against Green Bay. I don't know if it's going to be enough to stop Aaron Rodgers and Jim Graham. Then they don't have a run game really either. You know, they're kind of leaning at like the 70-30 clip for pass throw or pass run percentages. Green Bay's it's in Lambeau against a really underpowered team. I can't see the Packers losing this game. So I think the Packers pull it out. Call it 24-14, somewhere in that realm.
You laugh at my score predictions, but at least one of them will be right. I don't know
Probably.
which one.
Probably the tie.
That would be awesome.
Knowing you, it's going to be the tie.
That would be awesome.
Beer reviews. Rebecca, how's your coffee from Dunkin' Donuts?
It was great.
Yeah?
I look forward to it every Sunday.
What was it?
It was a hot caramel mocha coffee.
10 out of 10 would recommend?
See?
Yelp review.
St. Clipperstein?
I like Clipperstein. St. Klippenstein. There's a pig on it with a shepherd's staff and a halo. Interesting. An ale aged in oak bourbon barrels from Allagash, 11%. I enjoyed it a lot. I mean, I guess it only comes in bombers. I assume I've never been up to Allagash, but I like their products for the most part, with the exception of probably their flagship beer, which I can't think of is the white. I don't really like the white that much, but I enjoyed this. For you, a lot of breweries doing the bourbon aged barrel type thing. But this was pretty good. I've been unimpressed with some, but I like this. So go get your St. Klippensteins. I don't know its availability, so don't go looking for it unless you know it's out.
Miller 64. 3 beers, 192 calories.
Hey, there you go.
That's what I got to say.
Have some hummus.
Ugh.
That's right.
Kendall, do you care to let them know where they can find us?
Yes, I do. Facebook, Getting Sports with Drunk. Instagram, also Getting Sports with Drunk. Twitter is GSWD_4.
Make sure to use the hashtag GSWD for all your daily uses, whether it's wacky score predictions with Rita or drinking under 200 calories worth of beer.
Anywhere you find podcasts, we're on iTunes, Google Play, anything, Podbean, we're there. We cover all the bases here.
We do it all.
We're no slouches. On live on the PPRN radio network every Sunday from 10 to 1. PPRN has got some great shows. Peter's show on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, great staff, and Carl, Mike, Bob, they all tuned in today. They interact with us, and those guys are hilarious on Tuesdays and Wednesdays whenever they're on. Mixtape Saturday. I worked with Peter yesterday with PLR and listened to his mix on the ride home. Killed it. So Mixtape Saturdays, excellent program. If you love hip hop, you just like a good good DJing. And Saturday.
Quick shout out, a deceased Bills fan passed away. I guess yesterday or something like that. And he requested in his will that 6 Buffalo Bills players of the organization's choosing take the role as his pallbearer so they can let him down one more time.
God, that's awful.
Good for that guy.
Oh, man. That's rough.
Did we shout out the Peter Pino Show?
We sure did. Tuesdays, and I frequent the Tuesday lineup.
He does.
I enjoy it.
He is Peter Pino's left-hand man.
Left-hand man.
That's because Peter's right-handed.
That's right.
But yeah, we got lots of good content coming up in the future. Make sure to tune in every Sunday here, 10 to 1. Rita will be here. The Red Baron will be here.
That's right.
The Hostess Cupcake will be here.
That's right. And PPRN has a toy drive coming up in December. This show is going to do something. We haven't decided what we're doing yet. And we have about a month to figure that out. I don't know if we're going to just do
that might be
Stuffed live
something I'm
turkey
actually good at.
Well, we were talking about too. We were making like a liquor basket or something, or make like a nip Christmas tree or something. I don't know what we're gonna do. We'll figure it out. And then I don't know. I mean,
Nipple tree.
no nipple tree exactly. And then we'll do either.
It's not what you think it is.
I can help you out with that. I can't make score predictions, but I can organize things.
And we'll maybe do a half-hour broadcast that day. I don't know, depending on who we can get. It's always a wild card with our group.
Yeah.
But
yeah, definitely stay tuned for all the updates and stuff as they come around. And as always, make sure to stay tuned into everything happening on the PPRN radio network. Good stuff.
Yep.
Coming soon, we are going to be designing a wall in the studio as well to be posting pictures.
right behind Riddler's shoulders there.
See the $5 naughty? That one?
It's going to be our wall.
It's going to be our wall, so we'll be sure to post pictures and stuff when that happens. Everyone's favorite household appliance, Machine Washable, is in the works of getting a banner made for us.
If you ever want to be a guest, please let us know. I know that Mike Hatfield as well as Carl, they've shown interest and want to come on. Please do, just let us know. Uncle Bob's been on twice, and he's had a good time.
Yep, a lot of fun.
Around noon, he cracks open the beer, puts away the coffee for some beer. We'll break him in one day.
He was a little happier before the Cubs wild card game, but we'll see how he is next time he's on. Yeah. That's pretty much it. Next week, we'll obviously, hour 3, we'll score predictions, top 10 rankings. We'll have some NHL to talk about. NBA season will have tipped off. So we'll have that to cover, and whatever else is happening in the MLB postseason, whether we're World Series bound or not, there'll be stuff to talk about. Lots of sports next week.
Yeah.
And hopefully some good beer. Sorry, Peter, but Miller 64, terrible.
He's working on his physique.
I understand, but health versus good beer. Here's the deal. Are you going to live forever if you get healthy? No. Good beer, though.
Good beer. That's forever.
It adds years under your souls.
That's right.
Souls. But we're going to take advantage of the 2-minute early warning. We're going to get out of here so we can catch some more football. So until next week, I'm your hostess, Cupcake the Riddler.
I'm Rita.
Can you say it with more pizzazz?
Until next week, I'm your hostess, Cupcake the Riddler.
I'm Rita.
There we go. And I'm the Red Baron.
Yeah.